There we go.
We are live.
Right on freaking time.
First off, I want to say, before we get started with this review, I want to quote a famous rap star, poet, movie star, just an all-around awesome guy. All those people who said and doubted and hated Thragg, keep your name out your fucking keep his name out your fucking mouth, dude.
That was me.
Dude, I didn't want to spoil anything because I said I know how powerful he is, and the voice actor is throwing people off. But I'm like, when they actually animate and they show you why he is the regent, people are going to be like, oh. Just keep in mind, Nolan is possibly the strongest out of that whole faction. Like, he's taking 3 or 4 Viltrumites at one time. Like, I remember the season 3, it took like 8 of them dogpiling him and Mark getting his ass beat to be distracted. Okay. And he made Nolan his bitch this episode. Like, and I don't know if the voice actor.
That's one little problem that I have with Invincible. That's the only one.
And I think the voice actor started really settling into the role.
He definitely didn't sound as high pitched in this episode as he did previously. I don't know if that was him using a different cadence. I don't know if it was them cranking up the bass on his voice in the post or what was going on there, but he didn't sound exactly the same to me. Like, he sounded a little more menacing, but still not as menacing as Conquest or Krieg or Thaedus or Nolan.
No, but
I think that might actually, now that I've seen what happened, that might add to the charm. Like, oh, he's just unassuming. Murder.
Like, I knew how Thaedus died. I just didn't know what order that they put it in. The fact that they did this the way that they did, it really helps to elevate. And it was actually, if they structured it this way, it was actually kind of brilliant. To get, because people were talking on the internet, you saw the memes and everything like that, right? To have him like make such an impact within the first couple minutes, and just the way they set the scene and everything else. And I gotta say, I'm a big source material guy. You know this, but this is what I talk about when I say there's certain things that you just can't do in a comic book that you can do in a show. The planet being destroyed has to be one of the best things they've done, like big scale.
So, like,
piece.
Looking at some comments on TV Time, people will go and grab the comic panels as a picture to add to their comment. And looking at some of the comic panels, I think they did a pretty good job of representing what was happening in the comic in the show.
But here's the thing, and I can't believe I'm saying this.
They stayed so true to the source material.
PB, clip me there. Clip him too. 912. We gotta remember this. Clip us both saying that because he admits to source material, and I'm gonna admit you were right with live action. This is what I'm talking about when I say adaptations, right? What makes me happy with an adaptation? This right here. You could do the 1-to-1, but then doing something different and seeing an emotion and catching the spirit of whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I think the problem we have with adaptations, especially as comic book readers, right, is not necessarily, and I think people confuse this when they say it's not the same as the source material, with it doesn't have the same feeling or the same soul or the same kind of emotions you get from reading that panel. You know what I mean? And going on this journey. And then you have Invincible. And it just does everything right. I'm going to be honest with you, PB. I know we do these to compare and contrast, but I can't sit here this week and say that one episode was not particularly better than the other, because all three of these episodes to me were absolute bangers. If you had to hold a gun to my head, I'd probably say, just because of the type of episode it was, the one that would be on my lower rung this week would be The Boys.
Ooh, mine's Daredevil.
See, we're going to highly disagree, because that's my 10 out of 10 this week. I thought it was a perfect hour of television.
So you thought that of the three shows, The Boys had, I don't want to say the worst, the least best episode, and Daredevil was the best of the three?
I would say not least best is it's tough. God, gun to my head. It's like comparing which one of your great athlete children who are all getting signed to professional teams, which one of them do you like the most? It's like
everybody's got a favorite child, even if they.
But everybody's got a favorite. I gotta say, this week I picked Daredevil as my winner, and I'll tell you why. And God help me, I'm gonna quote Campia. Emotional weight, man. Remember how I was telling you how I was missing dialogue scenes? If this show does not get nominated for an Emmy just off of the conversations, even the flashbacks, everything held specific meaning. It was I've never seen an episode of television so far, except for maybe The Sopranos, and it's high praise. I'm putting it next to The Sopranos, where the flashback directly is pivotal to what we see, leading right up to the last moment.
I don't know. I feel like there was multiple episodes of Arrow in the first 5 seasons where the flashbacks led directly to what was going on in the current time.
Okay, now I'm going to get hoity-toity and fancy-schmancy on you right here. Yes, you're right, in a physical sense. But I'm talking about this touched spiritual, because I was thinking the flashback she was seeing, she was actually dying, and she only got that like little bit. Like sometimes people, you think they're okay, and then boom, they just fucking die, because obviously brain injury. I fucking called it. And yes, you were right. She didn't technically die the last episode, but this is a continuation. So fuck you. I'm still.
Every episode is a continuation.
Still, technically, I win because she died. Anyways,
no.
The other reason why I give this such a high mark is because Disney, hola Carmen, has a bad habit, and especially Marvel, of not having the guts to kill people or killing them and taking it back. Now, we still have to see it down the line if they're going to do some kind of multiverse bullshit or whatever else, but I think we're coming out of that. So death has to feel permanent in these shows, because then it ups stakes. What I particularly loved about this death was, for a second, I was ready to call you up and say this episode's a 2, because they were bringing her back. And I'm like, this is that bullshit. They don't got the balls to kill. And PB, they tricked me. They fucking tricked me. You could ask Bitchy. I had my mouth open, because the way, even, remember we were talking about editing problems too. Even the way this is cut and shot, they want you to believe, and they successfully, that she's going to pull out, like right up to the moment. And I'm sitting there going, okay, she'll probably have like memory loss because she started glitching. So I was like, okay, maybe she's got like, they're going to have to deal with her trying to remember who he is, or she's going to forget shit or repeat shit.
What I thought when she was having the memory loss, what I thought was going to happen, because she like scolded him for being mean to the nurse, I was like, holy fuck, they're going to turn her into like this gentle soul, and she's going to leave Fisk because he's evil.
There were my mind left the death thing as soon as she grabbed a hand, because I thought when she was seeing the visions of the white beach and everything, I thought she was like going towards the light, and then he brought her back, and it was a metaphor. But no, she never got out of the fucking light, man. They gave her a little break, and now she's in that big fucking beach in the sky.
She is the big beach in the sky.
Okay, so I'm jumping all around. And then we got the boys and Edgar and that return. No big deaths, but a lot. I will say this much, which makes it hard for me to say the boys is exactly last on this list. I maybe put it 2. It's so hard. No,
don't worry, guy. Daredevil was the worst episode of these 3.
No, we disagree. Okay.
Okay.
You know what? We'll start with Daredevil. How in the world can you say one of the best acted episodes probably they've ever had? If we're
okay. So if that's going to be your point of contention, I would agree that of the 3 episodes, the amount of acting at the top tier level definitely happened in Daredevil, and that's why the episode was as good as it was. But in my mind, Daredevil Born Again is an action show, and the amount of action in this episode is sorely lacking. Not to mention the fact that the only fucking thing I wanted to see, I didn't get to see. And you didn't get to see it either. Nobody got to fucking see it. You know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see how Daredevil got out of the church. And they're like, oh, we don't know how he's going to get out of the church, so we're just going to have him in the church and then magically out of the church. Oh, wait, but then he decided, no, it gets worse, guy. It gets worse. Then he decided, oh, I'm actually one of the good guys, so I'm going to go back and rescue the guy who I said not fucking 5 minutes ago, oh, I'm not going to be able to save you. I can only save myself. And what does he do? He goes back in, he picks him up, and they just I don't know, did they phase through a wall? Like, what? How did they get out of the church, guy? It's a TV show. You're supposed to show what's going on. How did he get out of the church? It's the only thing I wanted to fucking see, and they fucking cucked us on it.
I've got to say, you've picked, like, now that you're highlighting it, it's a valid point. But a very small. Very valid.
It was the only thing and it makes zero fucking sense. That's why I was pissed off, and I'm still pissed off about it. I was like, wait a second. Like, I don't know how many doors there are to the church. You got to presume that they got agents at all of them. They didn't all just walk in and now they're in the monastery or whatever. Like, that's not how you raid a building. Like, we're all going to walk in the front door. Fuck all the rest of the doors. They ain't going to go out those doors. That's crazy. But then to show him get out of the church and be outside and then have his moment of, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm leaving him to die like Batman does. So he goes back and gets him. And I was like, oh, now we're going to see some wild fucking shit, because he's going to be carrying fucking Bullseye, like, on his shoulder or in some fashion. And he's going to have to fight off a couple of guys to get out. Nope. No fight.
All right. You know what? I'll give it to you. You talked me down a point. But just 1 point. 1 point, because I can see this is going to drop your score dramatically. But for me, everything else in this episode and the fact that I had tears is going to still trump, at least for my viewing experience. And I think this is going to be like a mall situation where we disagreed on the other episodes. But yes, I did notice the lack of fighting, where clearly there could have been probably a good action scene showing them escaping the church. I will give PB this. There is a pretty big gap. I do like him outside of the church. I think PB probably wouldn't have had a problem if he had that moment, like, oh, I have to go back. He went back and fought his way out, from how I'm hearing this ridiculous bastard talk about this. But this is why we do these reviews, because like we said, even with a show that I'm going to rate pretty highly here, and I think is one of the best and still the one of the best out of these three, just because of the emotions behind this episode. When you have a good point, you have a good point. And that is a pretty big gaping plot hole. I think it has a very easy fix. You don't even have to show him doing a fight getting out of the church or the exit. You could just, getting it out of it the first time. You can show him going back in, saving Bullseye going out of this exit, or even show which door he went out of. Because according to Carmen, who has a very good point, which I would bring up as a counter, there is more than 5 or 6 doors on a church.
Show me.
Okay, let's just say in relation to this building, we don't have any photos of it, whatever, but say there is a back door, or they have these hidden fucking basements and shit like that. Churches are old. I agree. Saw where he came in and out with that.
Every possible excuse that you're going to come up with, the church could have 25 fucking doors. Show me which one they went out of. Why are you so cranky, little baby?
An issue, and let's be clear, it makes a lot of sense too, because these shows are so good that you really do have to nitpick this little stuff. So your main excuse for this episode, because we both agree the acting was phenomenal. As far as I can see, I didn't even notice any other technical stuff, which means you were so enthralled. This thing really bugged you because of how good the episode is.
I wasn't so enthralled because why are you crying at me, little baby? My second thing that I was bored for a lot of the episode. Oh God. Wow.
See, this is where I disagree, and I think this is just, as far as me and PB, a matter of preference. I disagree, but if you guys know me, you guys know I'm a huge dialogue fan, and I especially found several conversations.
Some of them. Oh, it wasn't all of them. Like the last conversation of Fisk and Vanessa, fucking great. The conversation with Daniel and the assassin guys, the security guy. I can never remember his freaking name.
Yeah, Buck.
Buck, the British dude. That one, that whole exchange, because it's not necessarily one scene, but it's kind of one scene because they're just, in the car, and then 100% made me think he was going to kill him. And then, oh, look at that. There's another random body in the trunk. And I was like, oh, you got me, motherfuckers.
And that was good too, because I thought it was going that route.
I will get on board with you and say there's a lot more good in the episode than bad. But when I'm sitting here waiting for the action because it's Daredevil and I want to see him punch somebody in the fucking face, and then you literally skip out because, I don't know, you don't want to be bothered with having to explain how they got out of the church, it frustrated the hell out of me.
And Justin says he's been watching Invincible and The Boys. Good choice, Justin. Good choice. Because I know you, if you're gonna pick two of these shows, you picked the best.
That's because he used to be a Marvel fan, but then he quit.
I'm gonna disagree with you and say that for me, I was going through, and I think watching Maul the week before helped, where I felt it was too quick. There wasn't enough moments of breathing. I was fine with not a lot of action, and I think it also enhanced the experience. So I'm glad I watched Daredevil first of these two next episodes, because those were the highlight. But I'm going to disagree with you and say that this episode was super awesome. The flashbacks were relevant. I think the acting was great.
I agree that the flashbacks were relevant.
Even the flashbacks, which can bring down a show, everything that's being said has to do with what the theme of the show is, which is mercy. And the fact of having Foggy come back to show an example of how, even though this guy was a piece of shit,
What's up, Perp?
And the fact that they intertwined Buck and
Thaedus?
Huh?
Are you looking at the screen?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Just say hello, guy. You don't have to read everything.
Yep, I agree. And Invincible, I wouldn't say it's a 6 out of 10 show. You're fucking crazy, dude. Especially these last episodes.
Okay, you, both of us, do not weight the show the same way that Perp does. Because every time that he turns on an episode of Invincible, he's like, "Wow, this would be really good if it was animated well." And he's not the only person I've seen say stuff like that. Like in the TV Time comments, multiple people are like, "Oh, I can't wait for the next PNG fight next week."
I'd have to disagree because I think especially this week the animation was super fucking on point. That them blowing up the planet, that shit was. I don't think you could have done it much better than that.
It was definitely a different style of planet explosion than I am used to. Like when I picture a planet blowing up in my mind, like obviously the number one that I picture is Krypton. I presume you too.
Yes.
But the number two that sticks out in my mind is when the Asgard blow up their world. Dude, if you're going to read the comments, read them out loud instead of just sitting there like a bump on a log.
This crazy one. That's all your action-heavy series, but your action is lackluster. Well, I disagree with that. I think you have some very interesting takes. You know what, Perp? If you want, I'm gonna throw a link if you want to join us because I'm very intrigued by your comments. But first, let me go back to Daredevil. So you were bored. I disagree. I thought the conversations kept me more engaged, but it was because I was coming off of Mall and I had my fill of just shit that's happening and crazy action scenes, and then one episode that had really good dialogue that kind of flowed well, which you and me disagreed on which two were better. But I think that this episode, the conversations were the things that were the action that built the tension.
The conversations were the action.
Yes, conversations can be action too.
No, they cannot be action.
Yes, they can be. They can be just as intense as any action scene.
Whoa. Intensity and action are not the same. Because I 100% agree with you that the conversation with fucking Daniel and Buck, that conversation was incredibly fucking tense. But there's no action, guy. Like the most action. The most action, like action is moving. Action, you know, like when they say action and people start to do.
You can move with your hands when you're talking to somebody.
God damn! The only action in the fucking Daniel and Buck scene is when he hits on the fucking wheel.
I rest my case. I still win that.
No. I can't believe that you just said that the dialogue was the action.
Look here.
I'm so coy with my reviewing.
Here's the thing. I think you were in a similar place. I can't remember what episode it was where I was saying I was bored and you weren't. I think we kind of swapped spots this week and you found this episode boring. I can't remember which. I'd have to go back which episode
I want to say
you weren't as bored as I was. So I think we kind of swapped places, but I think it. I'm a big Foggy whore.
I knew when you said you started watching the show, I was like, oh, he's gonna like this episode. Lots of Foggy.
And not only that, though, but once again, I would like to reiterate, it is not just about the cameo. but it's how you use the cameo that really makes the episode. And I think they use Foggy very effectively. And I think that it ties into the theme of what the episode is. Awesome. I sent you a link. It's in your thingy. Maybe I should put it in our group chat too.
Can't hurt to put it there. Like, it blows my mind that you're like, Perp, come on, but you don't say Justin, come on.
I mean, because Justin won't have much to say because he doesn't like Marvel. And I don't know if he's to the end of, or where we are at in Invincible and the end of The Boys.
I mean, if he said that he's watching them, I would assume he's caught up to date. Unless he's actively watching the new episode right now.
I mean, either way, the link's in the group chat. So everybody
either way, the link is in the group chat. But if you go into the the description for this review, there's a link to moviepalette.com. And you can order yourself a beautiful, high-quality canvas that will remind you of your favorite films, and you can save 15% on any existing sales by using code ZONE15, which will also help support your favorite YouTube villain, General Potts.
So, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Movie Palette, for sponsoring the channel. Now back to the review.
That was perfect. So now back to the review. Thank you very much for fucking being a grumpy bear. So then, Grumpy Bear, let's put you back in a good frame of mind, because clearly I know you're lowest out of the three. I'm curious, which one do you rate number one? I'm gonna guess The Boys, or is it Invincible?
Invincible.
I knew it was one of those two. I knew my 1 and 2 was either going to be Daredevil.
It's hard for me not to, because for 2 episodes, for the last 2 episodes, I was like, oh man, what the fuck is this guy going to do? He just fucking stands there and watch. And then the fucking fight starts happening out in space, and he's standing there and watch. Well, floating there, but whatever. He's just watching. And I was like, we're doing this again? And then shit popped off.
All right, so let's wrap up with Daredevil, because I think we're going to highly disagree. You're going to say some fucking ridiculous number. What's your rating for Daredevil?
I'm not going to say a ridiculous number. I rate it a 7.
Okay. In the grand scheme of how great these shows are, that's not a bad rating at all.
A 7 is not even for how great the show is, but a 7 is good for an episode of television.
The 7 is insulting in the fact of how great, like how much greatness is in together comparing these wise. It feels low, but in the world of other televisions, this show, whether we're griping about little things, and keep in mind, once again, all these fucking shows are so good that literally it's little things that we're going to notice because the show is so fucking good. So, I love how Perp has
you can't unsee it. He looks just like Mario, just yoked up,
Yeah, but I'm gonna, because we're gonna get to The Boys, and this is what I really
want
to
do. Ate a couple of mushrooms,
but
and some Viltrumites.
I'm going to call you fucking crazy. I give this episode a 9. You talked me from a 10 just because of that one.
Daredevil.
What? Oh, Daredevil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like that. I like that. I'm liking this season. I think this season's much more fast paced than the first season, and Bullseye just going after everybody. I wish he would take out Kara next. That'd be great. That'd be just the holy trinity right there. Just take out everybody's love interest.
now that will get interesting. I have a feeling, Perp, the way they're playing it. I have a feeling.
Is that little PB?
That is.
That's crazy.
He
procreated.
Talk about Viltrumite lineage.
He's going to take over the world. I can see it in his eyes.
He's constantly plotting dastardly deeds.
PB, I just hope you know, if we don't see you for like a couple months, I'm gonna know. And we see him just walking around being like this. We're gonna know he took the Empire. He fought you for control.
It's like once I gain the ability to walk, it's GG's.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking forward to
it. I could see like just like watching about street and stuff. I could see that kid is gonna give you all sorts of fucking issues.
That's dope, dude.
You're gonna be a little dictator, huh? No, I got a spot for you on my council. You keep that in mind, little man.
I'm sure you do.
Right hand. Well,
okay, Perp, where do you rate this episode of Daredevil?
It's solid. Like, I think it just moves things forward. I like that it finally, like, we're gonna get the Kingpin back. You know what I'm saying? Enough of this. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna finally turn up and stuff. So, I'd probably give like a solid 7.
Oh, that's what I gave it.
Yeah, I think it's a solid 7. It's nothing mind blowing or anything. It's just like it's a good bridge to get to the next couple last episodes. I never thought
I'd see the day where PB and Perp have the same fucking score.
What do you mean? There's been multiple things we gave the same score to. We just don't necessarily have the same way that we score it.
But so Daredevil solid. We both liked it. Before I move on to the one that we're all interested to talk about, because I'm sure our scores will be the same and Perps will be in a ridiculous fucking metric land.
I'll break it down why too.
Everybody quick tell me their favorite moment in the episode. My favorite moment, of course, because I'm a foggy whore, is the conversations between Matt. I love how they make fun of that guy and they call him or no,
Fembot.
It wasn't the feet conversation, because I'm a fan of feet and I'm glad to see Daredevil is a fan of feet.
All right, freak.
So we're all united, and I feel vindicated. When Matt Murdock was like,
y'all gonna play footsies? You gonna call out Mount Murdock and play footsies?
Best start. You know he was doing some freaky shit to She-Hulk.
Those some big feet.
Big green feet. God damn. Yeah. He had a lot of circumference.
Vanessa dying. I was like, yes. Yes. That just, you know what I'm saying? Because if they would have copped out on that, I'm like, all right, that's going to take me out. Yeah.
You need stakes. And I like how they faked it out. I don't know if you thought like we did, I thought they were going to pull that Disney bullshit and she was going to live, but like have brain damage or something. But then they kill her. I go, they got balls. And this establishes that nobody is safe. Anybody can die.
And I'm glad that they didn't kill Bullseye off, because I'm like, yo, like put him on the Defenders or the Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a perfect fit for him. You know
especially Thunderbolts. Him and fucking Agent Depressed.
Mm-hmm. I think he would really fit with the Thunderbolts really well. Like I think that whole team is going to get rebranded eventually, but that's another conversation for another time.
They got rebranded at the end of their own movie.
No, I'm saying I was thinking that they were going to become like she was going to call them like the Dark Avengers or something like that. But
and Bullseye is on the Dark Avengers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, and they could set it up where like, this secret person that, is working with Val and stuff like that with the Kingpin. Like, this is a perfect way to introduce Norman Osborn and stuff like, just have him be like a shadowy figure, like just a name that you hear. But like, he's he's kind of playing, like a nice guy, like sort of like how the Kingpin was like, he's playing like two different roles. Like during the day, he's a nice guy. During the night, he's, psychopathic, multiple personality type of person, got the Green Goblin and shit. But like they could have set that up easily, but that's a whole other.
Hold on, am I sensing hope on this panel? Do we all have hope for Marvel?
I've liked the direction where Marvel's going. Like I don't
come back here.
I think they've been all right so far. You know what I'm saying?
We just had this conversation yesterday about Star Wars. And it applies to Marvel as well. It doesn't matter how many bad things they make. I still have hope for the next thing that is coming out, and I hope that I'm not wasting my time. That's about it.
Yeah. You know.
Like I'm gonna
Yeah, because you never know if that said thing is going to be good or bad until you watch it. So
bingo.
Exactly.
And, okay, and I don't even know if you don't even got to say good or bad whether or not you're going to enjoy it or not. Because I agree with everybody that She-Hulk is not a great show, but I enjoy the fuck out of it.
Yeah, and so did a lot of people. You know, a lot of people enjoyed it. Some people hated it. You know, so it is what it is. It's kind of split down the middle, really.
It falls to me just because I have PTSD from Batwomen, so it's kind of in that umbrella. I call it whamming.
Yeah, Batwomen.
Okay, that deserves that fucking title. You know, I hate agreeing with that side on anything, but you know, even a broken clock is right twice a week.
Do you think there's a possibility we see a web slinger like just swinging by, or you think Marvel's like, nah, we're not gonna do that?
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I was like, all I need to see is like a silhouette in the background.
Yeah.
I said to him, my thing,
or just like a little jingle, like a din.
You do what Penguin did, because it worked. It didn't take the focus away from Penguin, and that was still an amazing show. But yeah, you can. I'd be fine with a silhouette or something else like that. I said a problem that I have with a lot of these shows is that this reliance when a show is already good. I feel like if it could stand on its own, you don't really need that. It's only supposed to be extra, little flavor. And I feel like a lot of the times we see it used as a crutch or hyped up to get people's eyes on it. But to me, a show like Daredevil Born Again or any of these shows we're talking about today don't need that because they're doing such a great job. They're standing on their own. So it kind of feels like it detracts rather than adds anything, which is why I'm saying I don't give a fuck if I see Spider-Man at all or Frank Castle. As long as
well, we know Frank is going to be coming up like soon. I think isn't his special before or after the finale?
After.
Okay.
God, PB, don't wish that on us. You know how hard it is doing 3 fucking reviews at once. I don't know what fucking pissed off Short and No made this scheduling, but they hated everybody. Speaking of pissed off, let's talk about Invincible.
Well, okay, like you say, they hate everybody. At least Disney is smart enough not to release their 2 active shows on the same fucking day at the same fucking time.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. Amazon, get your shit together. So speaking of Amazon, Invincible, I'm going to say it first, give my rating. This episode, for me, is a 9. I give it a 9 because all of you people who hated on Thragg, just listen to what the great Will Smith said. Keep his name out your fucking mouth.
Do you know why people? Do you know why people were? But you know why people are hating? It's not. But I'm saying like. But I'm saying it's this introduction that was whack. Like it's just like, yo, you're just sitting in your ship doing nothing. That whole like, because this episode 7 was, if this was his first time that he got, like, we see him getting busy, like I would have just been like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But like the first thing that you do is you not have him fight, or just at least, you know, pull up on, because like he could have literally. He showed in that. That's what pissed me off about this episode. Is like he literally showed that, like, yo, he could literally body everybody there, but just chose not to because he was worried about a goddamn skull and shit. Like, it's like whatever.
See, that's what I say. I was like, the only thing that he did was run away with a cracked fucking skull. That's all he fucking did when they introduced him. I was like, what kind of puss-ass motherfucker is this?
Here's the thing, and this is the thing where I'm gonna reference source material where I disagree how they used the source material. In the comic, the introduction was much different, and I think it set him up better. Now I understand
how they do in the comic.
In the comic, he's introduced by killing. It isn't Thaddeus, but it's one of the the people that they've never had on the show. It was like someone who's Thaddeus's right hand. He's not in the show at all. But
it seems like they could have easily done that in the 6th episode, and then be like, or at least like, when he came down, right, and everybody's kind of struggling, which they shouldn't be struggling with these scrubs, to be honest. And like Marcus just like got done healing, so he's not like 100% I don't know how the fuck they they just teleported there, but I digress. But it's like you should have had them struggling, right? You just had them coming back and forth, and then like you're thinking that they're winning, or even don't even have Thragg even be on that ship at all. You know what I'm saying? And you just have the Viltrumites, and then like they get their ass whooped, and they have to kind of flee, and then they meet Thragg for the first time when they try to go to his planet and stuff. It would have been so much better. It's just like you could have remixed it and just had it better, because I'm looking at this and there's just so many inconsistencies. And yes, Thragg is very strong, but he's also very dumb. Like, to me, like his battle IQ is not that, because I was like, bro, not only did you lose your planet, you lost more Viltrumites. So I was like, I don't look at this as like a victory at all for you. It's just like you could have killed all of this if you would have just, you know what I'm saying, made your presence known in episode 6. But that's Kirkman. I feel like Kirkman fucked up when he said, like, I don't really care about power scaling, because now it kind of shows in his writing and stuff like that. But
that is the gripe that I have about this episode, is the power scaling. It's so fucking weird, because how is it that I know not all the Viltrumites have the exact same strength? That is quite obvious. But why are you punching through certain people, but then when you do the exact same move to somebody else, they go flying? You don't punch through at all.
And PB, and just like, all right, so if Mark is struggling with him, how is he going to level up from this? Is it just like, all right, like literally like saying it's like the more he gets beat up, like the more stronger he gets? Or because that's why I'm saying like Kirkman fucked up when he said that shit. Like,
the way that I've looked at Mark over the last season and a half or so, like this season and the previous season, is his power seems to be quite similar as far as how he's able to up his game per se. It's the same way as Goku. Like, he's super strong.
Do you know about
when you piss him off by going after his family? Fucking unbelievable.
Do you know about the whole like adrenaline theory that like fans already kind of came up with to kind of like explain why he's gotten stronger? And like Kirkman kind of debunked that and whatnot, but I kind of like that explanation. Like it's like the adrenaline that kind of like, you know, kind of like helps him get a little bit to your point. So like, you know, the more angry he gets.
The comic, and they explain why he is the way he is, but it's going to be explained
this
later.
Adrenaline theory is the
completely
theory
fucking
that,
wrong.
well, I've never heard of it, so now I'm trying to connect the dots on my own. And when you say it like that, it makes me think that Viltrumites don't have an adrenaline gland. Like
that's what like, and then he Kirkman pretty much like debunked that. He did it in such a like a snobbish way, like the fans came up with a better example of how to explain the power system. Yeah, and then like he kind of is like, no, that's stupid.
Oh. What a guy.
Like, bro, calm down. All right, I met Kirkman. He's a nice guy.
You met him?
You're like, yeah. He just, I don't blame him. He gets asked dumb fucking questions between this and the.
But that's not a dumb question though. Like, because it's like it's a good question. Like when you. But it's like, but when you have an action like that's like action based, it's like, yo, that's where you kind of run into these issues. It's just like, yo, like, is Thragg really that strong? Like, or is just because?
But Perp, I think you also glazed over the fact that that Kirkman has noticeably and several times said that he's made mistakes, and he has been using the show as a way to flesh out certain characters, to expand on arcs, and to make his story a bit clearer, because there was certain stuff he couldn't do in the comics.
I definitely see that, because like my thing about like with this season in particular is more of like the direction. Like certain episodes, I feel like what was it? Episode 1 and 3 should have been the first 2 episodes, and then we get the Nolan episode, then we get the Hell episode, and then we get into the. You know what I'm saying? I just think that would have flowed better.
I don't hate the Hell episode, and me and PB talked about this. Actually,
He didn't say that he hated the Hell episode. He said that they were.
No. Let me finish. We didn't hate it. People hate it, and I think it's because of the placement. And I agree with the way purpose because. And who knows if the placement of episodes has anything to do with the creative team? Because we've seen that. Remember when they had Firefly on Fox, the fucking execs put the episodes out of order because they didn't think the audience would be able to follow along. Now, I don't know how it works, particularly for streaming, if they have somebody who just specifically organizes the episodes, but because if you take the episodes individually, you're right. They're all great in their own way. But I do agree with you. And me and PB have actually said this several times. Where shit is placed is really odd. And the weird part is the episodes aren't inherently bad. But like you have these like action-packed episodes, and then you have the Hell episode. Well, of course, people are going to bitch because they're more interested about the conversation that Nolan.
You kind of take the audience out, like with that because after that Nolan shit, we got that filler episode, and it was just like weird with the fucking dragon. I was like, well, are we doing this again? Like,
hey man,
you know what I'm saying? But
people like dragons.
But then the next thing is like, you know, why I say it's like because somebody else said like it's the best 6 out of 10 show because it's like the story is good, but it's like the animation just doesn't match with that shit. And like I'm watching these motherfuckers fighting. But I'm saying I'm watching these motherfuckers fight in space, and I'm just like, bro, it's like fucking watching PNG. PNG is just fucking floating on the screen and shit. Like animate this shit, and it's just like get more animators to just actually have this shit look. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, why is the 20-year-old comic shit look better, like way more detailed than something that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we have the technology. It's like it's not impossible.
I don't know.
It's just like they choose not to.
From looking at some of the comic pages that I've seen in people's comments, to me it seems like the overall smoothness is what they were going for. Like when you look at them in the comics, you look at like the best one I seen was Alan the Alien. Like he's fucking jacked with every goddamn fucking vein and artery bulging out like crazy. But in the show, everybody's essentially smooth. Like there's no texture on their skin.
Yeah, that's weird.
I think that it was a way for them to save time and money. Because it's a lot easier to draw and animate a smooth arm than an arm that has freaking 50 ripples going through it. Like,
but before you go, I want to make some examples. Like you look at anime, you know what I'm saying? You look at, and they don't have, and they get overworked. You know what I'm saying? And they're putting things out weekly. And so Invincible's got way more time. They got way more, like I said, they got way more money so they could put into this shit to make this shit look, you know what I'm saying, how it should be, at least.
I looked at the budgets. Actually, that was a big thing. And there was a joke, okay? Because Amazon did $200 million for the fucking Lord of the Rings series. That's been the joke. Actually, and there's another show that I watch, Has Been Hotel. And the creator talked about this as well, which is a great fucking show. I don't like musicals typically, but it's fucking phenomenally funny. But anyways, that isn't the point. And Hell of Boss, great stuff. Anyways, they did say that when it comes to animation, and this isn't just Amazon, so I'm not just going to shit on them too. Most of them don't consider it a priority when budgeting. And
that's the problem.
Action takes precedent over animation 100% of the time. So if you're going to a budget for $200 million to fucking Lord of the Rings of Power because everybody fucking loves that show, right? And you only have so many resources to allocate, even though it's one of the biggest shows. And I would like to find an interview or something like this because a couple of the animators did talk about this. are given a certain amount. So the animation clearly is going to like the fight this week, the really big stuff.
Yeah, like the exploring the planet and stuff. Like I can see that, and even and like and 25% of the budget went into the Thragg's punch because I was like, bro, that's the like that's as much as you're gonna get. Like as far as like that's what I was like. This is why I want this show to look like all the time. Like let's see how they're like they're moving and stuff like that. Get a little, and we're just
or I don't blame Kirkman. That's fucking Amazon, man. That's the
but I also blame the animators because they suck. They just like they not putting no type of attention to detail into nothing. Not even like the blood.
We don't know what the animators are greenlit to do. That's like
there's 4 of them. But you got people. You got people online fixing this stuff. Like this is like yo, just adding lighting. It makes it dramatic.
Budget or schedule or being told by someone what they can and cannot animate.
I feel like I already brought up this point to you. It doesn't have to do with the budget. It has to do with where you're putting the budget. And like I said, Invincible has put the majority of their budget into the voice actors so that you can get J.K. Simmons and Sandra Oh and Seth Rogen and however many other big name fucking people that are in this goddamn show instead of getting no name people. And when you look at the other big time animes, from what I've seen, they got like 300 to 400 animators working on their shows, whereas Invincible, I believe, has 130.
Also, PB, and keep in mind
one thing. I do agree with you in the sense of like I watched My Hero Academia. That fucking final season was
amazing.
Possibly one of the best final seasons I've seen in a long time.
Imagine if Bones animated Invincible. How incredible that shit would look.
But see, here's the thing too. And we're dealing with this in video games. I want to do late night talks about it because video games have been fucking wild, crazy with their news stories. But we're dealing with a time where animators, animation, voice acting, everyone is getting pretty fucked over. And there's forces at work that, yes, we can say maybe take the budget out of the voice acting. But I can guarantee you that some of those voice acting hires were not specifically the show. That was Amazon who said, oh, J.K. Simmons said they want to be part of this because maybe he's got a comic from Invincible or his fucking son likes it. And are we going to say no to J.K. Simmons voicing? Fuck no. They don't give a fuck. They'll cut 100 writers if they got a big star. So we can't just sit here and go, oh, well, the show's creator shows that. No, that's what happens when you sell your property. Okay. So the corporate people have a majority say, and it's come out not just in animation and in voice acting, but in video games and any other fucking thing.
Two things. Back to what PB was saying about like the animation. So there are animes that like they'll have one animator working on one episode. So it's like they don't give me that excuse. I don't want to hear that excuse. Like they don't got to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very possible. Like even with that small team, it's just like if you had the talent, you could still do something. But like you got people online literally just adding lighting to the scenes, and it's just like it's a dramatic difference. It's like a night and day difference. It's like, damn, that's all that you need to do is just fuck with some lighting, add some shadows. Like how much more money is that gonna cost? But and it's another fact that we're 4 seasons in, and this shit's just like it seems like it's just getting worse in a lot of areas. Because even with like Thragg's like design, like sometimes when he's just sitting there, like when he's just sitting there, he looks fine. But then like when they try to get him to move, he just looks like really, really weird, and just his face looks fat. It's just really inconsistent. I hope that I think they should just like with season 5 take 2 years off. Take 2 years off and come back. Because this is like we're getting into like the final steps of the story. It's just like I don't want this final seasons to look like season 4 still. Like we shouldn't be.
I do agree, PV. I have to say, I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with Perp. If more time can give you the
just do it.
Leeway to even with the 150 animators to focus particularly on, especially because I don't know how many read the comics, but I read them all, so I know where this is going. There's
So they got like five, they probably got like 8 or like what 3 or 4 seasons left worth of stuff.
I told PB this last week. Yeah, I'd say if the show's doing well and they can stretch it, I'd go 3 just to embody everything. Plus, Kirkman said there's some shit he wanted to put it in, but they could do 2 more comfortably.
Hello, Justin.
Oh, hey.
This guy stole off.
Carry on.
But yeah, this with this arc, especially because I feel like they did kind of speed run the Viltrumite war. There is a bunch of.
What do you mean they sped run the Viltrumite war? You mean Viltrumite versus Viltrumite?
No,
wait, we're talking about
in the Viltrumite war right now. This is the Viltrumite
war, Justin.
We're talking about the last episode of Invincible that dropped.
Episode 7.
Oh shit.
Yeah, watch it.
No, I was finishing episode 6. So
What'd you think about Thragg's introduction? Like,
yeah, that's a good question.
I have no big reaction.
That's the problem. That is the problem.
I think I think a lot
first.
of the only real standout to new character introductions is Mark going to hell. Like that was a significant one. But other than that, it's been kind of like, aside from the story beats between him and Eve and then the war that's going to happen, everything in between is just like, could we not? Like, yeah, it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? We're just like filling up time. No thanks.
Emotional weight. Oh my God. Like, you guys are the problem.
No,
we're not.
We're not. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zod. A show or a movie's job is to hook you in and get your attention.
You're already hooked in, motherfucker.
I'm sorry. 4. I was trying to pay attention, but it was just so it was done so boringly that I might miss a couple details because I just don't care. That's why. And also in a series like that, like some storylines like are just not gonna hit as much as like the main storylines. And I wish they would just focus on those instead of subplots. Like I just that amount to nothing. That's a problem.
Everything okay. As somebody who's already read the comics, the only thing that's new is the Hell arc. And supposedly that was supposed to be in the Invincible comic, but he just didn't have the time to really squeeze that in. So that's new to the show. But everything holds relevance. Everything will come back around. So you need time to slow it down. Now, I agree with you in a certain sense because me and PB's talked about this. I think even Perp has a great point. It's not the slow moments are bad because it's great acting. It's where they're placed in the story is really odd. The structure of these episodes is off. Perp, I think you 100% hit the nail on the head. It's not that these moments inherently are bad or that the episodes are bad themselves. It's the order they're in is what fucks up the show.
And you don't have that connection, that emotional connection that you want. It's just like it kind of like to your point where you're saying like it felt like they're like speeding through the shit, even though like each episode's like damn near an hour. It still feels like they're rushing through things just to kind of get to the next thing.
Get to the next thing.
Yeah. Like I completely agree with that. Like I'm watching, the end of this episode, the one that came out last week, and it's just like they're rushing through like some moments that should deserve the time, but then there are other moments none really come to mind because honestly, like I just am just numbing myself out to it. I just don't care about like the random fight sequences that take too long. Maybe because I'm not a superhero kind of guy. Like I don't really care for action sequences. I'm just like skip to exposition. I want to know the story. Like let's Yeah, shit is blowing up every fucking episode. What's the difference between this one? I like it blends together in a certain way.
You know what really
moment, I don't really dig it. But
yeah, you know what annoys me. You know what annoys me about Viltrumites and how they fight is like, yo, why don't y'all always just use the blade technique? Like that seems to always work. Why punch people? It's so ineffective.
Oh, you know what? That's a problem that I have with the boys too. It's just Homelander has Stewie right here, right now. Why is he not dead? Right now, no, I don't want to kill you.
These are the reins,
Justin. With the right moment. Like, fuck that. Right now. If you really have the balls, kill him right now.
Grand Regional, get control of your get control of
yeah. And you know, Zod, I'm sorry, but like this is a problem that I have with superhero content in general. Like you have these powers that are well defined. Why don't you just absolve yourself of the problem? Oh no, because the rest of the series needs to happen. We need to make more money. That's why
Daredevil was so great.
Why it keeps going on.
Conversation, but anyways, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna jump off this track here because I don't want to be here fucking 4 hours because I'm talking about.
You're not gonna argue my point.
Nope. Right now, we are going to
know it's right,
motherfuckers. Okay. The favorite scene from this week's episode. Shush, Justin. You could give your favorite scene from the previous episode you watched. My favorite scene from this week's episode was the planet exploding. Rest in peace, Krypton, to all my homies. Pouring out a little liquor for you, all my homies.
Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing. Like, that's another thing. I was like, I need to stop seeing these like Kryptonian and Saiyan comparisons because like Viltrumites are not like that at all. They needed the fucking laser beam to fucking blow up the planet and shit. They wasn't blowing that shit up by themselves. That's just another thing too. But continue.
Hey,
it was cool though. So
dramatic this was for me, Perp. It's like reliving piece of history. God, remember that the planet scene was my favorite. I told the council, man, they didn't listen. I told Colin's father he was a fool.
I will find him.
Oh, when I find him, I will break him.
My favorite part is obviously like, you know, Omni-Man getting launched. That was funny. Or no, that and like Mark running. That shit is funny as hell. I was like, you're a bitch. He's like, I killed Conquest. That nigga laugh. He's like, I'm not impressed.
Dude, I will say one thing. They did.
Anissa like that though.
Aura, when he looked at him and said, I'm not impressed, bro, that shit was hard. That and the headbutt.
They gotta send Oliver home, man. Like he shouldn't be on there. But now those two scenes, like Mark running and like Omni-Man getting launched like that, that was satisfying. We need more of that.
My favorite moment is when they killed Thaedus.
Dude,
they killed Optimus. They killed Optimus Prime.
Yep. He did not roll out.
Did you realize that like in that flashback that was Optimus and Megatron talking to each other?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I knew that rival was gonna end. And
wait, so you Emperor Argall is Megatron?
Yeah.
Fuck, no, I didn't know that. I'll tell you this. That's the fucking scene I fucking hated the most in this fucking entire episode. This is fucking pointless. It's like, you show us we know that he killed Emperor Argall. And you show us the lead up to it, but you don't show us actually killing the Emperor. And I don't fucking care about that now. All I care about is, one, what did they do to Thragg to make him the regent? Like, why is he so much stronger than all the other Viltrumites? So, well, he'd been trained since he was a kid. I was like, they all were trained since they were fucking kids. That's the whole point of this fucking planet.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, the power level just seems like the power level doesn't seem that like, well, obviously with Thragg, but like, it's just, I don't know. It's not that. There's only like, to me, there's only like 3 really strong Viltrumites. That's fucking Mark, Omni-Man, and Thragg. Everybody else is irrelevant. I don't know why they got these other scrubs and stuff. Like they're useless.
Well, they have
on the other side of that story, I would like to know how Emperor Argall became the Emperor. If you're going to show us fucking flashbacks, you're going to show us something fucking pointless, and then not actually show us the consequences. It's like, oh, look at Thaedus, he's up in the rafters, and cut to black. Same fucking problem with Daredevil. We're not going to show you the escape from the church. We're not going to show you the one thing you want to see.
The church, okay? They're still fucking great.
That's not in our budget. Budget.
Anyway,
that's all. That's all.
Yeah, that's not a problem that's new to Invincible. You know, like, and that's what's kind of sad. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't know anything about comics or anything like that. Like, I just finally found a superhero thing that I like, and you know, there are so many different times that I just, and it's just a feeling. Like, this is coming from a normie, like not like somebody who like knows their shit or by any means and can fill in the gaps like through comics or implications like that. I'm just kind of watching this casually just for fun, not to analyze it or anything. What I find upsetting is that there are some details that work very well. And there are some like flashbacks that I'm just like, what, why? And there are so many storylines that happened in between that made the series happen that I'm just sort of like maybe it's been a long time since I've watched all of it, but I have a hard time keeping up with like what exactly is relevant now from all of these previous seasons, as opposed to the stuff that I was invested in before that is no longer relevant. Maybe it's to me, it could be the gap, or it could be just like lack of interest, I suppose. Do you guys like find that a problem when a new season comes out sometimes, like that you just sort of don't remember certain things, like the recap?
Sometimes
I rewatched the season again, the previous seasons, and then I go into the newest season. But I'm a fucking psycho.
Obviously, it happens to a lot of people because at the beginning of The Boys, the previously on goes back to season 1.
Yeah. That's too much.
No, I disagree because
I was actually rewatching The Boys, and then I forgot it came out so soon, and I was only like midway through season 3. I was like, shit, damn it! Like, I remember season 4 enough, but yeah.
Speaking of which, so we all have vastly different things.
I gotta head off.
Invincible's great. All right. Thank you for coming on and giving your insights. By the way, great.
Yeah, no problem. That's cool.
By the way, Wawa came to Ohio, and it's fine. It's not as good as Jersey. I would imagine. I've never had to.
Okay, so speaking of which, let's talk The Boys, episode 3.
I didn't even give a rating for the episode.
Oh, for Invincible?
Yeah.
Oh, 8.
You gave it an 8?
You guys fucking talked me down after hearing some of the stuff.
It's okay. You can talk about it like it's the penultimate episode. It's not the finale. So
he only talked to me 1 point from Daredevil. I still landed on a 9. Invincible kind of pisses me off a little bit more because I feel like I was razzle-dazzled with some stuff. So now if we're going in the order, I actually put Invincible number 3 because we'll talk about The Boys. I still have Daredevil as number 1. Fuck EPD.
I gave this episode of Invincible a 9.5, guy. It's practically perfect.
I give it an 8 because I agree with some of the things, and
I don't care. Like, if the animation starts to get bad, because I feel like we all agree that the animation is not as good as it could be, right? Like we all,
or as good as it used to be. But then again, it was smaller.
That's fine. That's fine. I haven't been watching Invincible because it has this amazing animation and visuals. I mean, for the love of God, I'm a Pokemon fan. We don't give a fuck about graphics. Graphics are not important. What's important is that I can get a Charizard and scorch everyone to death. That's what's important. Oh, I mean, what's important is the story of Invincible. And at the moment, I think it has the most intriguing one, especially if we're going to continue to get more flashbacks of what happened on Viltrum. Because I'll tell you what, I sure as fuck didn't expect the little kids to be murdering little kids when he's like, hey, everybody, I'm going to go stand behind this door and you're just going to fight, which I thought was wild because you got one person kills this person and then another person shows up to kill this person. Another person shows up to kill this person. It's like, how long did this fight go on? Because obviously we didn't see all of it. Like, what was the point? Like, we're not necessarily killing the weakest people with the way that the fight played out, if that makes sense.
It's to cleanse. So, I see. I don't know if I want to say anything because it might be in the next episode. They've been doing shit out of order, but I will give from the comics and how the whole thing played out. The point is when a Viltrum regent dies, it is a custom, and it's done for every regent. And when he
how many fucking regents have we seen die? I've saw exactly 0 regents die in this show.
Up to the regent you're at, there's been 2 other previous ones. They may or may not mention them. They were in one-shot comics explaining this.
I've watched every single second of Invincible. We have seen 0 regents die. 0.
You just saw one.
If you want to actually go with what we've seen with my eyeballs, we didn't even see the Emperor die. Cut to black.
I'm saying you're saying why they kill all the people. I'm explaining it. It doesn't matter if you've seen it. The custom is when a regent dies, you spill blood to renew your oath by cleansing the weak and preserving the strong.
Like, I would.
That is the custom. It doesn't fucking matter if you've seen it before. That was the gist of what they were showing you on screen. So when he was fucking assassinated and died, they were doing the ritual of cleansing.
Okay, so then there should have been a piece of dialogue in there in some fashion where all he has to say is, you know our customs, and then walk away. You don't got to tell me what the custom is because I'm going to see everybody murdering each other. You ain't got to tell me what the custom is, but everybody there should know the tradition. And it seemed like none of them knew the tradition. And we went all Spartacus, and Thragg was like, begin.
Like you said, and this is why I brought it back down to an 8. When we bring these things up, I don't notice them, so I'll rate it higher instinctively because unlike you, I've got the context. And so them saying that and cutting that out, I'm like, oh yeah, they're doing the ritual. But I fail sometimes to realize, which is why it's interesting talking to you guys who have never read the comics, that you have no fucking idea what's going on. So when you hear it, you're being like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about? I've never seen this. What is this thing? And you're right. You could fix it with 1 or 2 pieces of dialogue. Easily fixes it. It's not even like anything out of the way. It's not like you're animating a new scene or
okay. The point is they give you context for the fight in the show. He's like, oh, this guy, the betrayer, had a different style of weakness. It wasn't a physical weakness. It was a mental weakness. It was an emotional weakness. Whatever you want to call it. It wasn't a physical weakness. Now we need to kill each other. Like, they give you context for it, and the context is not, we do this every time one of us gets killed.
Well, there's a lot more to it, but that's what, this is what I mean. You telling me it, the way you're explaining it to me, it now does highlight a huge flaw within the show, which is that this could be explained to where you would have the general context without me having to go back through and explain everything leading up to this point and why it makes sense to me. But you're right. It should be communicated in the show. And that's like the weaknesses of when they do these scenes. It feels like they want to show the scene from the book.
I mean,
and they could easily give you context for that scene, but they don't do the right things to communicate what the scene is actually supposed to be interpreted as. So when you're watching it, it's not coming across how it was originally written.
So what you're saying is somebody who is at Thragg's level, the regent, 2 people before had that position, right?
Yeah.
And then they do their little mini civil war to get rid of the weak ones, and then we go about business as usual, correct?
Yes.
So then it should have been taken to another fucking level because a regent didn't get killed. He's standing right there. The Emperor got killed. So we got to kill even more people now.
But see, like I said, though,
I think that entire scene, from the point where they're like sitting there at the little council and Thaedus is like, oh, we shouldn't be going out and just killing everybody. That scene, you could just pull it out of the episode and it doesn't change the episode at all. Because it's not like when they do the little civil war, we don't see Thragg in all his glory.
Oh, God, I wish I had finished this last episode as opposed to the one that came out last week. Oh, gosh.
You just watched it?
The one that came out last week? Yes.
Why are you saying, oh, gosh, then? Because I spoiled
well, because but it's fine. It's fine. As I said, it's the penultimate episode, not the finale. If it was the finale, I wouldn't have joined at all at this point. But I don't know. Continue on airing out your grievances, and then I'll pop in with some comments about the boys.
Okay, I'm actually gonna jump to
I
the
don't have any more grievances, Justin.
Yeah, I've said everything I've had to say. I'll go 8, you and 9.
I said 9.5.
9.5, I'll go 8. Just because now the more we talk about it, and then the more you force me to think about this, I'm like, yeah, it does agree. Which still Daredevil ranks it. Fuck you, I still call it.
It doesn't.
9, does that an 8. Anyways, so the boys, episode 3. This is the episode that had more.
Oh wait, they just dropped the boys episode 3. Oh fuck me,
Justin!
Damn it! I was just watching the boys last night, and I was catching up on Invincible. I did not see this last episode. Oh my god!
The boys and Invincible release
the same day.
I didn't know that.
In the same time.
Fuck me. Well, I guess I'll talk about the first 2 episodes, I guess.
Give us some thoughts, Justin. That's fine.
Give us some thoughts on that and then hop out because we're going to spoil the shit out of the 3rd episode.
Yeah. So, okay. With the first 2 episodes, especially the first one, I had a big issue with Kimiko just all of a sudden talking now and then just explaining it away like it's not a big fucking deal. Now she talks because it's convenient to the plot. I get really frustrated with shit like that because she could really only communicate with Frenchie, but now that Frenchie, MM, and Huey are now in the concentration camp, which again, I can't help but to think like it's so funny how the boys continues to show sort of weird depictions of our real world versus this fictional world, and it reflects on it. And I just find that so fascinating. And I know that how long it takes for these things to happen and before it becomes a thing. I guess I find it so interesting and just oh boy. Yeah, the Kimiko thing really pissed me the fuck off because this is a big fucking deal. She only talked like what in season 3 with like a musical sort of number, and then that was it. And then she spoke a couple of times in that season. I don't remember season 4, or maybe it was season 4. I don't know. But what the fuck was with that just casual transition? What did you guys think of that?
I mean, it definitely threw me off a little bit because you're not expecting her to say anything. You're like, holy fuck. And then they tell you the reasons, and you're like, fucking TikTok.
Exactly. Like, we're just
didn't have a problem because in the comics, that's kind of how it happens too. Is she just fucking talks?
When was the
and
comic
that's the
made?
jokes. Huh?
When was the comic made? How long ago?
Now, like 10 years. Maybe,
so it definitely says in the comic, Kimiko talks because of TikTok, right? No, it fucking don't.
No, it says she talks because she got help from therapy. They threw in the TikTok thing, but
Okay, so I guess I don't understand. Like Justin says, she talks now because it's convenient for the plot. Does it? I don't know.
I don't think it's convenient for the plot at all. I think it's a funny side bit. They have her talking.
I would say it's done for a gag.
Yeah, it's not for now, not for a gag because of that. But what I'm trying to say is that it's convenient for the plot, especially trying to get Frenchie out and having that sort of like, because without Kimiko, you don't quite get everything that you would want accomplished with the communication between characters that you have without Frenchie being the translator. It just wouldn't happen. She would just like maybe listen, and you could have done it that way. I just think it would have been more powerful if she, and maybe they are doing it exactly like the comics are doing. I have no idea.
No, not at all. Not even remotely close. I'm going to tell you right now, this ending is going to be nothing I can fucking predict, because I can tell you it changed from season 3. They've only ripped certain things, but this is fucking nothing. And even the dude who made Supernatural, I really like working on this show. Even he said the endings are going to be the same. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's 1:23:02, PB. You can clip this. This is the first time I want them to change the ending, because the ending of the Boys comics fucking sucks. It is fucking terrible. You can ask anybody who's a fan of the Boys or anybody who's read the comics.
I'm aware of how it ends.
Even the creator said that his one regret was the ending. The ending was fucking terrible and predictable. It was one of the worst ends of and it's the only comic too. They never did anything else. They did a Huey and Starlight one shot to kind of explain what happens to them.
So the whole comic book is like the world's greatest fucking wrestling pay-per-view of all time, but then it ends with the finger of doom.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like you build up, and some of the ending of the comic is interesting and cool, but like how Homelander dies is fucking awful. The only other interesting thing is how...
Oh my gosh, an unsatisfactory ending to Homelander's demise. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
no.
And I can tell you this,
he dies in the comic.
I don't recall, but I remember that reading about it, and it was just like, okay. But it was also like, it's the comics
because they've already changed it.
And I knew they were
Homelander dies from a clone of himself. He kills Black Noir like in the show, but instead of Black Noir taking actor taking his suit, the Vought makes a clone of Homelander to keep him in line, and the clone kills the original Homelander, and he dies naked in his room. I forgot why he was naked. And then Butcher...
He's probably taking a milk bath.
No, that's kind of scaled down. Actually, that's scaled down more in the comics. He dies like jerking off or something. It's something crude.
Thanks.
And then Butcher kills the clone of Homelander. And then after he kills the clone, because they all take V at the end in order to match him, and after he kills Homelander, he turns to the boys and he starts killing the boys. And Huey's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, we all have to die because we're all evil and we all don't deserve to live. And he's like, all the Supes have to die and we don't have a place if there's no Supes to kill. So he fucking murders all of the boys. Kimiko, Frenchie, Mother's Milk, fucking annihilates them all. Huey tackles them outside of a window and beats them to death with a crowbar and then leaves with Starlight.
Oh, so they come full circle to the crowbar.
Yeah. That was the point of the crowbar in the first episode. Judging by how far it's gone now, they could throw that in. They still could do that. But yeah. Homelander doesn't even get killed, really. The real Homelander or Butcher never actually fight in the comics. So Homelander doesn't actually get killed by Butcher at the ending. Butcher essentially, it's supposed to be a metaphor on how his revenge led them down the path of destruction and no one got to kill anybody. It was fucking retarded. Nobody fucking liked it. It was terrible. Fucking terrible. I was so pissed.
Justin, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe, or let's do it this way, because rankings are good. Where would you rank the season premiere of season 5 of The Boys compared to every other season premiere?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I would say that it ranks somewhere, because I don't remember specifically the season premieres of all of them except for the first one. But what I really don't because I was binging it and I wasn't really caring about season premieres versus a continuation of what my grandfather said when he accidentally turned on Netflix and watched Stranger Things, and he told me, "Oh, I just watched a really long movie. Like, it was good. It was really good, but it was really long." It was the same grandpa's grandparents react to Cecil.
That's great.
Excellent.
He just had no idea. He just accidentally clicked Netflix and watched the entire first season of Stranger Things and thought it was a long movie.
Tell him don't watch the sequels. Tell him he can just stop at the first one.
I mean, the first one's great. It's a classic for sure. But yeah. So I've been sort of watching it in that light, not necessarily with a premiere in mind. I even watched Gen V, which is kind of interesting. What's that?
It was surprisingly good. The first season. The second season's terrible.
No, it's not.
It's not terrible, but they had to do some things because one of the actors died tragically, and I get it.
It's not even about the actor. The fucking story sucks dick. Once they
but what happened was they
killed the fucking show. The actor whose character.
No. Yeah, like the one character whose actor passed away, and they wrote off out of respect, and I understand that. Unfortunately, that affects the entire show because
no, I'm not talking about you.
I agree with you. He was the best part.
No, I'm not talking about the black friend. I knew about his death going into the second season. I'm talking about Godolphin, the main villain. When he was in the first couple of episodes, the show was good. After they killed him off in the fucking mid-season, that's when the show went downhill for me. Because they had no good villain. It was fucking terrible. And I'm like, why the fuck did you kill the most charismatic, interesting fucking character that you introduced in the fucking mid-point of the show? He was like a Homelander type villain. And I was like, oh, so this guy's going to be like the counterpoint to Homelander, but for the kids. And nope, they fucking kill him off. And it was fucking stupid how he died. It destroyed.
Super lame.
Godolphin is not like Homelander. Godolphin, he was meant to feel like initially because you're like, holy fuck, this guy is all kinds of crazy powerful, except that He wasn't, obviously, because of how quickly they took him out. Like, you got 3 levels. You got 3 levels of villain. And I can equate it all to Twisted Metal. You got your Minion, your Sweet Tooth, and your Calypso.
He was
Homelander is Calypso.
Yeah.
Nobody else is Homelander in the boys' universe.
Everybody else is Sweet Tooth.
I would put Godolkin as Sweet Tooth. You don't kill Sweet Tooth. He's your marketing.
Okay, you can both put him at the Sweet Tooth level. He's at the Minion level.
I disagree, dude. I would put the chick who could fucking crush people with her mind at the Minion level. Or the fucking deep.
Maybe PB's onto something. Because, I don't know.
He was what Homelander wasn't. He was fucking smart. He's the first person
he's more intellectual about his decisions and not emotionally driven, but even then he's still emotionally driven. But that, regardless, it leads to his downfall. But my thing is with Homelander, because he's the most powerful one of the bunch, he's able to get away with a lot of shit. He's able.
Not only that, he's that.
There's a lot of enablers around him. There's a lot of people who incentivize his behavior, and knowing that he's very powerful. But not a lot of people.
Way off course, though. Let's talk about season 5, episode 3, because
he didn't watch it yet.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay, let's go back to episode 2 and then we'll talk about episode 3. But for me, I disagree. I don't think the Kamiko thing bugged me the most, considering that I think that the A-Train death was a good way to set up stakes early in the season.
Justin, question. Like, as you're watching the A-Train scene at the end of the premiere, did you think he was going to kill the lady on the road?
Oh, no. He learned from his mistake, but his learning from mistake led to his own downfall, which I think is very, very poetic. Like him apologizing in a way for his actions of just like not repeating history, and how this whole set of shenanigans started in the fucking first place.
Yeah, he was. That's what I'm
saying. His own demise. I think it's perfect. So how did it happen in the comics? Because I think that within the context of the show, yes, it was like, oh, why the first episode? Well, like I kind of get it from a writing perspective, because like this is supposed to be like the last season, and you're gonna keep everybody alive. Like, no.
If you know Eric Kripke,
some characters you love have to die, and this is supposed to be advertised as like a bloodbath, so let's start it off. And I get it. And then the second episode absolutely like kicks off the plot like much more further, even though we have to sit through, I honestly have to say, terrible dialogue. Like the writing of the dialogue is just not good at all. It's like you're stupid. It's like they're treating you like you're idiots throughout it. It's that whole thing like with the Oscars. When Conan had a sketch.
I disagree with you.
Of Casablanca, and they're explaining the plot to you like you're a Netflix viewer. Like that is so true, and I see that so much now. So much more.
There was nothing over-explained in episode 2. What line can you point to me which explains something we already knew in a previous scene? Because that's what Netflix does. I said it for Stranger Things season 5. That's why I hate that season. Now I'm doing a re-review. There was nothing in the dialogue. Was it juvenile? Yes. The Boys has always had juvenile dialogue. Was it crass? Was there some things?
Oh, crass, yes.
But there's nothing in the dialogue.
He rented the truck under the name Viacunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was nothing in the dialogue that specifically explains something you had already seen previously. That's Netflix dialogue.
It's listen to Butcher's dialogue again.
Butcher's dialogue did not explain stuff we'd already seen. He was explaining the plan that he was going to do and then ways it could fail based on their previous experiences. Like, hey, we've tried this, so what is going to be new? And yes, if you want to nitpick, you could say, yes, he's explaining stuff that's happening to back people up.
I don't know.
But in relation to the conversation, it does not pull me out because, let me give you an example. In Stranger Things, there is literally a moment when the characters walk into this bunker. They individually walk in at different times, and they say, hey, do you know the plan? We're going to do this, 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 and this. And then the next fucking character comes in and goes, hey, guess what? So according to the plan, we're going to do this, this, and this. And then the next fucking character comes in and goes, hey, I don't know if you heard the plan, but we're going to do this, this, and this. In the scene you're talking about, he goes, hey, guys, we fought Homelander. We got our asses kicked. This is what I want to employ. Based upon what's happened, how are we going to make this work?
It could just
and
be
then
me.
they went to the other.
It could just be me
said,
as like
we could try this. We could try that. And Butcher's like, fuck no. We got to do it this way or it's not going to work. That to me is not regurgitating shit I've already heard. That's him laying it out. Nobody repeated what he said. They said different ideas and he shot them down and said no, because based upon what happened here, obviously that's not going to fucking work. So give me some better ideas. To me, it sounds like when you go into a room and you're pitching something rather than just re-explaining shit we've already heard.
I think my problem might be like I was skipping ahead. I'm just like, okay, just you know, like, all right, go ahead, explain it, I guess. And it sort of is understandable because it's in a way formulaic to the boys' like sort of script platform of just like Butcher explains the plan executed, some shit goes wrong, and blah blah blah. Homelander's pissed, and the Deep is like fucking a fish. So like I get it, and maybe it's because maybe it just to give the writing the benefit of the doubt, it could just be me just anxiously awaiting for it to be fucking over. Like I want it to be, I want to see the ending already. Like I just want it done. It's the problem.
You and the TikTok generation, you can't just rush to the ending. You got to see the shit in between. It gives context to what's going to happen.
It's not, but the thing is, like, for me, just like as I'm casually viewing it, like I've never reviewed it on my channel. I've never really, I don't know, never really gave it too much attention until just randomly I just decided fuck it, and for casual viewing, and I really enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it, but it's more like, you know, I know it's the final ride, but like any like you know the in between stuff, sure, yeah, I'm like itching, like that's kind of the point, like to be like okay, let's. Well, how is the ending going to work? But whenever they focus on something outside of the virus that is going to kill all the soups, I just fucking lose my shit. I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. I don't care about this.
Let me give you an example.
Being vice president. I don't care. Let's just go. Focus.
It's like skipping through Cobra Kai. They've got a lot of slow parts. I've rewatched the show several times, and I still don't skip through it. But there's still stuff that you could reasonably fast forward in that show, and you probably wouldn't miss anything. But it's about the journey, man.
I know. And you had to pull the Cobra Kai on me, you fucking asshole.
Because I know.
That's a brilliant point.
You're like, brilliant point. Fast forwarding, and we've seen the show 50 fucking times, and I can guarantee you, neither you nor me fast forward through. It's all right. Like, I might go on my phone.
No, I don't. Especially the first season. I think I can safely say I've seen the first season about a few dozen times. Yeah, 2 or 3 dozen. Yeah, but not the second, not the third, not the fourth. Like the longer it goes on, like to understand the context, the longer that I'm just like losing sort of the context that I need that's important. It's sort of like studying for a test. You know, it's like there are some things that you just grasp towards and you think like this is going to be important, but then when you get the test, it's like no, none of that shit is important. Here are some questions, all this other shit that you sort of weren't familiar with. Like that's the kind of thing that is going through my mind with the boys, and well, not really with the boys, but just more so with Invincible and some television series in general. And I would kind of rather it be done and over, or on its final, preferably on its final season. And then like I can have a bunch of seasons to enjoy it. Like I'll give you one good example. The Banks. Is it the Banks or is it what is the one?
The Outer Banks?
The Outer Banks is a great example. Like if I were to be stuck like in between like season 3 and 4, I would have been fucking confused because I think it should have been wrapped season 3, like done.
I do agree with that.
But they kept going another season, and I'm just like, where are we going? And I just got bored after that. I'm just like, this is not worth my time. And then I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. So I keep watching, and then I don't know, like somebody dies, and I'm like, what the fuck did you keep going for? To kill somebody? Like for stakes? Like okay, it just seems unnecessary. I know, but not for him. That actor is not dead. Like in the series, like he's not getting paid.
We're gonna wrap up the season one or the episode 1 and 2 talk, and I'm gonna kick you off because we're gonna spoil the shit out of episode.
Well, I have a question for him before he leaves.
Ooh, maybe a prediction question.
It is not.
Okay.
You can make a prediction if you would like to, but the question has nothing to do with speculation.
Okay.
So you're saying that a lot of the times in these 2 shows, people will be standing there talking with each other, and if it's not progressing the part of the story that you care about, it's just boring to you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood. So would you say, for at least Invincible and the boys, you don't necessarily care about the characters, you only care about the story and the lore?
I would not say that. I think there's somewhere in between where I care about the characters, the main characters. Like that's what we should be focusing on. It's the side characters and the side quests. I call them side quests, like B storylines that I just do not give a fuck about unless they like in that season morph into something. Not because of, just instant gratification, but we have to be going somewhere. Like please give me a good direction. And some of them have been satisfying. For example, like I thought it was the robot story in Invincible season 1 was a fucking drag. I'm like, oh my god, enough of this robot asshole. And then it sort of came full circle. I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is amazing. I'm like, I'm glad I sat through that dumb bullshit, and it is satisfying. But then there are other instances where I just don't give a fuck about, like the random villains, like with Invincible. Like some episodes feel like it's a fucking Power Rangers episode. Like, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't care about this villain of the week. Like, skip this shit. I know we have to have action in the middle of in the middle of the season, whatever. But if it doesn't amount to something at all, random villain, I'm out.
So would you say that, how do I want to put this? Do you retroactively, at least in your mind, not, you don't have to like do it out loud or anything, you watch something and you're a little bit bored with it and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is going anywhere. But then once you see where it does go and it leads to something satisfying, do you go back and be like, oh, that episode was a lot better than I thought it was at the time because it set up this?
Yes, that's sort of in a way how I kind of operate.
So it's almost like when you're actively reviewing something, you're stuck in the moment of, I was fucking bored by this, it sucked. But in 2 weeks, I could think that what sucked doesn't suck because it actually led to something that I care about.
Yes, yeah, that is very, very accurate. It's close. It's close. I think the only difference is that I get I get more mad when it doesn't lead to anything, and I'm like, why did I waste my time?
Well,
and because it's happened a few times, I tend to nowadays become more impatient than I normally am, and I'm not as patient as the average viewer. Like I'm not requiring action. I'm requiring like some sort of story, like progression, something that like every single moment should be progressing the story. If we're taking some time on side quests, as I call it, B plots, I really just get mad when it doesn't lead to anything significant to the main story.
Say in Invincible, at least, the whole side plot with these aliens from the alternate fast time moving dimension, I don't give a fuck, because as you say, it hasn't led to anything yet. The only thing that it's led to is taking 2 of the Guardians of the Globe and removing them from the globe. You know what I'm talking about?
We still haven't really had a plan of defeating the Viltrumites. Whatever is supposed to happen there. I don't see like what the big picture is at this point.
Well, how about you want to do some speculation real quick?
Sure.
So we don't know how the technology works for them to go from their alien dimension into our dimension, right? We don't know how the portals work or anything like that. Is it possible that instead of killing the Viltrumites, we just send them to the alternate dimension and they're stuck there?
Yes, absolutely. Because we've seen that, but we haven't really seen specks of it since 2 or 3, I don't think.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't remember which. I want to say 3, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, but definitely in 2. Like that's when I discovered it, and that's when Zod told me about it, that it was pretty good. There was only 1 season out, and season 2 was coming out, and I was very excited about it. 2 left a lot to be desired, and it was, in a lot of ways for me, satisfied in 3. But 4 is like, okay, we're back to more adventures. I'm like, no. And maybe because I'll be perfectly honest, I have a soft spot for romantic comedies sometimes. Just like the
romantic comedies.
Oh, yes. And I am more interested, and maybe that says something about me more than it does to the writers or to anyone else who's watching it. I love the Mark and Eve plotline more than anything else. I love the Dewey and Gale storyline in the Scream movies more than the fucking Ghostface, because I know that's going to be like its own.
random shit, and it's going to be whatever. Like it's predictable what's going to happen. Like I kind of get the gist of it without even having to watch the season. I want to know how these characters end up. I don't care about where, I don't care about the other things that happen around it. Like I just care about the characters themselves, and maybe that's the core of it.
And speaking of which, we're gonna have a tier list really quickly. I'm gonna kick your ass out because we're gonna talk about an episode you haven't seen, and I think you should definitely see it.
You should go watch it right fucking now, guy.
I'm gonna hold off on Invincible and watch The Boys episode 3 right now because I did not know it comes out on the same day, and I felt like, holy shit, I'm missing something. So, well, okay then.
Do you have time to watch both of them? You got 2 hours available to you?
Are you gonna go on for 2 hours?
I didn't say I'm just asking if you're going to be able to watch both of them today.
Yes. Yeah, this is my day off. So.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. I don't presume we'll be going on for 2 hours because last time we did all the shows, we had to do 4 episodes because they released 2 episodes of The Boys, and it took us 4 hours because we essentially did an hour for each show. But we went through Daredevil a lot faster. It's amazing how adding people to the stream will get you through the stuff faster. That doesn't make any sense, but it happens every time.
I agree. I wish you an hour's long of debate, and by the time you're done debating it, I'll probably be done with the episode, and then I'll chime in. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, take care and be well. See you guys. And by the way, Rob Reiner is next. It's already done. You're gonna love it.
Excellent.
Nice. We'll set up a day for that. All right, so lots of big opinions. So season 5, episode 3, The Boys. What are your thoughts on this? I'm gonna let you read it and give your thoughts first, and then I'll go into my spiel.
I guess we'll start with the number. I give it a 9.
Funny and true story. I agree.
Well, son of a... We had so much argument over them first 2 fucking shows, but this one we're like, yep, it's a 9. See you later, everybody. I don't know, like... I watched it after I got up today. I watched Invincible last night, and then I watched The Boys this morning. And I wish I would have watched them in the inverse order because The Boys episode was a little more laid back, whereas the Invincible episode was, once it gets going, it's balls to the fucking walls. Like, I had a little bit of an adrenaline rush at the end of the episode, like, god damn. And then Mark goes, yeah, they went to Earth. And I was like, oh, shit. But The Boys, oh, man, like, I don't know if I can exclusively point out the one thing. Like, we'll have to talk about it a little bit because I couldn't tell you what my favorite moment of the episode is. Like, I have a feeling I know what it is, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Like, it was good the whole way through. It had me fully engaged the whole way through. It didn't have me sitting here waiting for the action to happen the way that I was with Daredevil. Like, this whole time, they're out there running around, and I was like, okay, someone's going to get punched in the face. Someone's going to get punched in the face. Whereas in The Boys, I wasn't sitting there going, oh, someone's going to get punched in the face. But someone did get punched in the face, and I was way wrong on that. I would have to go back and watch our stream when we talked about the trailer because I don't even remember who I said I thought Homelander was beaten up.
I don't remember either. We had several guesses.
Eccles, that's right. Or not Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki. He was beating up Jared Padalecki. I was wrong. I was very wrong.
I said I don't think either of us thought. So
I don't think either of us thought that Homelander was going to be beating up Ryan.
Here's the interesting thing too is that, and I don't remember my other reviews when we've done this and with other people I've talked to, but I do remember Ryan to me was an addition I didn't like. He's not in the comics. I thought the actor, the first two actors, because he's aged up as they've gone along, have been underwhelming in their performance. But I have to say, this individual episode won me over big time, especially the opening scene where it's like a fucking horror movie with these guys going in, and you think it's some kind of soup we haven't been introduced to, and it's Ryan tearing these guys apart like his old man. And I even hate when they do these like teenage romances, like, you know, the teenage characters like each other and they're doing something, but like even the way they bring my boy Stan Edgar back and that actor, oh, I always forget his name,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Just the way it seems like riding a bike for him, no matter how much other shit he's doing, he is that character. And the way he portrays him, and it's even funny when they get betrayed near the end of the episode by him, and he's just sitting there like, yeah, you guys knew I was going to do this. Like, come on, it's my life or your life. And it's funny because it's like, motherfucker. And then Huey was like, dude, I know about karma, but damn.
God, now
Like
who did he get tackled by?
Noir. Because you see him with the thing and Noir just fucking football tackles him. But dude, I think for me why this rate's so high as 9 is because coming off of Daredevil and having a death there, coming off of Invincible and having like 2 people or 1 person die and 2 get severely hurt, right? You kind of like, I wasn't in adrenaline mode. I was fucking depressed. And I'm like, God, I hope The Boys has like this episode. But here's the weird thing. There's so much good comedy, and then like the ending with the music playing, and you see Butcher come back for Ryan. And I think they do such a great job with Butcher of him being this sadistic asshole with this virus that's driving him, or he's allowing to, because he knows the situation is hopeless, but yet he still has just enough compassion. And you still don't know his motives. Like, is he keeping him alive because he realizes that, like, Homelander's son is the one person who has any type of a chance, even though he got his ass spanked by Homelander? And it also spoke to Homelander's character, too. Homelander could have killed him. Anybody else, Homelander would have fucking ripped him apart. But he just whooped his ass and left him there. Like, that was like a spanking, or Homelander's version of a spanking. Like, he was like, son, you got too big for your britches, and beat the fucking shit out of him, but didn't kill him. So that speaks to both of them that they still care about Ryan. Like, and I feel like he's got to be instrumental to both of these guys' downfalls, because clearly they both still have paternal feelings that keep them from doing what needs to be done.
I'm not sure. I don't think Homelander knows what it is to have paternal feelings, and the paternal feelings that Butcher has been taught are not good.
I'm saying,
like, in order to be a father, I gotta whoop your ass.
I mean, I think for Homelander, I think he sees it as a correction. Like, son, this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you, right? And you see the like how he looks afterwards. Whereas Butcher, maybe it's an obligation to his dead wife, but at the same time, too, I think there's something there. Like, he really has some kind of, because you can't have, like, that's part his wife, the woman he loved. There's some kind of connection there, because
she didn't fucking love, dude. Okay, I'm sorry, but now that you brought it up, Do you think that Homelander raped Butcher's wife?
Oh, 100%.
100%. He definitely did not.
No, 100%. It's in the comics and they played it. That's
What do
scene
you mean
for
it's in
scene.
the dude? I don't give
That's
a fuck
no.
about the
That
comic.
is scene
I
for
don't-
scene how they play it in the comics. Where
What
they
is
don't
scene for scene? What is scene for scene?
the conversations that they have.
What conversations?
Like how he words it is how that's ripped from how he words it in the comics.
Which conversation, guy? What conversation are you talking about?
The conversation he has with Ryan when he says, "Oh, she came on to me. Well, you came out of it." He's admitting it. And even the artist said, yes, he raped her. He's admitting it in his own way. When he says, your mother came on to me, and then the line he says after where he says, but you came out of it. That was him admitting it like, yeah, I did this awful thing, but you came out of this. So some good came out of what I did. That's basically.
Yeah, he's talking. If we're talking about what happens in the show, which I also watched, he said that they had a consensual affair. And an affair is not a good thing. An affair is a bad thing. But the good thing, i.e. Ryan, came out of the affair.
But he also, then he backtracked and he said, your mom came on to me. It's proving that
she did.
It's proving what he's saying is a lie. He keeps on backtracking until Ryan's not buying it. And then he says, oh, but you came out of it. It's Homelander always trying to justify what he's saying is not the truth. He raped her. It was not consensual. It was even said back in season 2.
If anybody in this show is a fucking liar, it's Butcher. Butcher is the biggest fucking liar in the entire fucking show. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, but so is Homelander. He is delusional.
I'm not saying that Homelander.
The difference between Homelander and Butcher is Homelander believes his lies. Butcher knows he's a lying piece of shit. And that's always been the contrast.
God,
he even admits he's a lying piece of shit. You go
back, I don't know how many different rapes have been portrayed in any form of media. I have no idea. But I've read a fair number of stories. I don't remember reading a whole lot of stories where the woman willingly goes to the penthouse and then just walks away when she's done. Never read a rape like that before in my life.
And this was set up in the prior seasons. It was that Vought did under a while. She didn't walk away. She went through the proper channels because she thought they were going to protect her, but obviously they did not. And that's supposed to be the state on corporations. It plays out the same in the comics. It was that she didn't want to make a big spectacle of it because she didn't want Butcher to find out, because Butcher was special forces and she wanted to keep it low key. And that's why
rape is a forcible thing. Rape is a forcible thing. So in my mind, if Homelander is going to rape anybody, it doesn't matter who the person is, rape is fucking terrible. But if he's going to do that to somebody, why is she, from the visuals of it, volunteering? There's not even a fucking moment where he's like, hey, you're going to fuck me.
Well, okay, so this is the difference between the comics and the show. They cut the scene out of the actual what happened. I don't think he's ever going to show it, but in the comics,
I don't need them to show the actual act of it, guy. We don't need to see that. That's irrelevant. What I need to see is any type of forcible coercion, because the only thing that he said to her was, we can help you move up in the company.
Yeah, see, they cut it from there because there's a lot more to that. Going back to that.
Okay, well, talking somebody into having an affair is a little different than talking them into getting raped.
But how she words it, how even fucking Stan said it in the second season, that Homeland.
She's the real villain of the show.
Well, that's neither here or there, and I'm gonna fucking strongly disagree with you. Like maybe how it
Dude,
was.
there is no evidence to rape. There's no evidence.
How it was presented was not great at all because they didn't want to go into that clearly because of the probably conversations it would have sparked with morons. So it's very clear to see like they just cut the thing or they minimized it or they tried to do that story without actually having to do it, and that's one of the problems. And especially it's kind of weird too with the boys considering everything else they've shown in the show and been very specific on what's going on, especially even things with Homelander. This is a weird one, but I just think, and it's been said a couple times too by Eric Kripke, the fucking showrunner, that was just one thing they weren't comfortable in treading. And when doing that, you're right. It does kind of confuse and muddy the waters on situation. Which
you want to do the story or you don't do the story.
We can agree with that 100%. I think it's a very confusing way, and it makes these conversations where it should be clear what happened.
Because I would love to be in the mindset of how dastardly terrible Homelander is because of what he's done. Because in my mind, rape is worse than murder. Because when you're murdered, you ain't got to live with being raped because you're dead.
Yeah. And I think, and people have said this too, and myself included.
And I agree with him. He's like, because they try to play it off like, how come your heart is racing so fast? And Homelander's like, well, because I didn't think that you were going to say that to me. Like, holy fuck, my heart rate would be racing too if some third-party person, right, was like, hey, I know that you raped this woman. I'd be like, you know? How do you know that I did something that I didn't fucking do? Like, how's that possible? Who's been manipulating you and twisting your fucking thoughts to make you think that I did this thing? And I'm not saying that. Obviously, Homelander is the villain of the show. I get that. But holy fuck, it's a TV show. Same thing with Daredevil. Show me. Like, all we need is the conversation of, you're going to be in my hotel room in 20 minutes or you're going to be dead. Okay, person got threatened with their life and they went and did a thing. They didn't know what was going to happen there, but they're like, well, I don't want to die, so I'll go do this. There's no conversation like that.
And it's interesting you bring this up because that was an issue I had when they did that flashback, because I thought they were going to have the balls when they first showed that flashback. What? It was in like season 3, I think, where they show that whole ball and they kind of give you backstory. And I think I remember us talking about this, and we still had this very debate because once again, the showrunners, with all the shit they show, they seem to be scared about giving any context because I think it makes them feel like if they go that far, Anthony Starr still as Homelander is fucking the character's loved. Everybody knows he's evil, right? But they love the character. And I think they're afraid if you do that one thing, that's going to push the audience into not liking them to where they're just going to detest them. But this is the final season.
See, even the baby's upset about it.
But I agree. This is the final season.
Everybody, if we're talking like big show, right? Game of Thrones, massive fucking show. Everybody watches Game of Thrones. Biggest fucking ratings on cable. Biggest fucking ratings of all. Like, nothing is bigger than Game of Thrones. They show you all kind of rapes in that show. All kinds.
And also too, and I hate to use this in this conversation, but I think it also too, it's the political beliefs of the showrunners as well. Where there's certain lines they just don't have the balls to cross or talk about because they don't want to acknowledge. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get what you're saying. The showrunners are just big pussies and don't want to actually do it.
Yeah. They want to trend that line. They want to say they're edgy, But when we have to open up this conversation, they don't want to open it up because, you know, it's not empowering, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to demean whatever. And it's like, if you're going to have a show where literally there's an episode called Herogasm where a bunch of heroes are having fucking orgies and fucking all sorts of people all over the place, right? We're in that territory. You mentioned Game of Thrones. This is pretty much Amazon's equivalent, right? They do everything. They're not afraid to push boundaries. Well, that's right. There's a lot of hard to watch scenes in Game of Thrones. There's some scenes that I say, like, God, there's scenes I fast forward because even me as a fan of watching that, I won't watch certain things. And that's one of the things. But it needs to happen because it's important to the story. And when you have a story point that literally defines a conflict, like this is the reason, right? So yeah, I agree with you. And that's probably why I'm sitting at a 9 once again. This is the reason Homelander is fighting Butcher. This is the main fucking conflict, right? It's like if they don't do that scene in Invincible I told you about, I'm going to call them fucking pussies. Because these are defining.
When I was watching the fight, and I was like, now Mark.
Yeah, we were waiting for
like, is she going to go mount him in space?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, is this the moment? Because I know the moment. And I was like, but no, they're going to Earth. And I'm like, okay. I vaguely remember the moment happens on Earth, but it's after the resolution. So we're getting close. So I'm thinking it's going to be next season. And if they don't, read my lip. If they don't, I'm going to fucking give the show a fucking terrible rating because you don't have the balls. And this is the issue I have with The Boys. Like, if you're going to put a story plot in there, something that heavy, and you've made it the driving force of your whole entire fucking show, then you've got to have the guts to talk about it. Yeah. And you got to call somebody wrong because that now we're confused debating. Like, you could be 100% right? They could have changed it, or I could be right, but we don't fucking know because they're not giving us a definitive answer, and we're in the end game. Like, they need to have like a conversation, even have a conversation with Butcher and Homelander, and where Butcher's like, hey, what happened? You know, we're at this final battle. We're going to fucking kill each other. Just tell me the fucking truth. And it could even be like a character moment for Homelander. Or you could just show him being fucking crazy and he's a god and he doesn't care. He'd be like, yeah, I fucking did it. So what? You got Ryan. You should be thanking me. Something like that, right? Where we take the mask off and we see how fucking evil he is. Because in the comics, make no mistake, he is fucking disgusting. He is a vile, evil fucking prick. And they show what happens in the comic is that same scene where they're at the building, the party or whatever, but he grabs her by the throat and slams her on the bed. And I'm not going to go into more detail, but, and when she comes out, her clothes is ripped. She's all cut up. There's more to it. And I thought that's what
she definitely looked like she had a good time in there and was doing the walk of shame with her shirt buttoned up crooked.
Yeah. That's, they changed it in the show. And that one, I think it really dilutes the conversation, and it kind of almost then makes the woman look guilty. And it's weird because now you're taking that position. If the show's trying to bring this to light and say it's a horrible thing, then they're doing a terrible job, because now you're making the woman look like the person who orchestrated this whole thing. When in the context of the story, she's the victim. She's the one. It's supposed to show superheroes victimizing innocent people. That's been the whole gist of the show. So when you cut that off, you're making Homelander look like a fucking, you know, looking like he's just this guy who's been accused by somebody that didn't really do it. He made a mistake. And now, you know, it's almost like the one mistake he didn't do, but that's the fucked up part. He did do it. And even the way they worded it, even if that would, like, see me, I interpret it as an omission, but, you know, PB, I can't argue. You can also interpret it as him defending himself. And it's really a terrible thing to leave open-ended. You could leave anything else in the show up for interpretation, but I agree. We need fucking facts on this. Like, you can't be wishy-washy. You can't be taking both sides. That's not how that discussion works. Someone either did it or they didn't. And you got to make it very fucking clear who did. Because that changes the whole context.
Well, I mean, the whole point,
Right,
because the whole context of the show is I want to kill Homelander because he raped my wife.
And everything else we've
Because
just seen.
I'll tell you what, Billy Butcher don't give a fuck about humanity, if that's what we're talking about. He don't give a fuck.
No, it's revenge. And he said too. He said numerous times. I think once in this episode, he said it to Ryan. It is solely about vengeance. And, you know, he throws in the humanitarian thing, kind of like Maul with the manipulation. And maybe on some level, he agrees with that. But it's really just fucking with his character. Since day one, it's down to revenge. And I think if they don't address it, it really does a disservice to Butcher, because then it just kind of makes him look like the bad guy more than Homelander. If you take everything Butcher's done in the show,
I'm okay with that.
And I mean, I'm fine with that, but it just pisses me off because I know the context, and I get what they're trying to do, but it just rubs me the wrong way, especially because, like you said, if you're going to do the storyline, then fucking do it. If you're not, then don't do it. Like, what have we been doing for the past 5 years then? And once again, they've got...
This has nothing to do with episode 3, by the way.
No, this is just a hope that they clear this confusion, because that was we interpreted that clearly. Two different
we live in an era of real life where too many people have been accused of doing things without any proof, and then come to find out later, the woman says, "Oh, I made it up." Well, you ruined the person's life already, so it's too late. Like, the accusation alone is going to ruin someone's life.
And the sad part is that in the context of how the story was originally built and made, it was another way to make this person dastardly and know how fucking evil. Like, they've done the ultimate evil, basically, like you said. And I agree with you. I find that worse than murder, if we're doing the scales. And especially with the people I've talked to and personal life experiences.
I mean, it's not like in the show, I don't think they ever explicitly show that, but they didn't have a problem showing us Huey getting sexually assaulted.
Which they never addressed, too. That was a weird one. Like, it goes back to
because I'm sure they would say, well, yeah, he was sexually assaulted, but he put himself in that position in order so that he could try to get information or break into the compound or whatever. Like, there's a reason why it happened. I was like, okay, so there's a reason. I don't think that makes it good.
Yeah, and that's the thing that would really piss me off too, is the willingness to be able to show that, and that's definitely not in the comics whatsoever. So that was a made-up scene that they threw in there, which really, in the whole context of the whole season, that season felt like humiliating Huey, and I had no clue why they went that route, but every episode seemed like they were just fucking humiliating him. And it was peak era where guys were bad and every show was fucking doing it. But it's just like, now we've swung things back around, and it's like, okay, you're talking about this topic and you're making this. Well, are you going to have the balls to commit to this, or are you just doing it to score points and to just be edgy? You know, it's disappointing, considering most of the edgy stuff they've had this season and last season, for the most part, have served a purpose to the story.
I mean, it comes down to which of the 3 liars do you think is actually telling the truth in this instance? Because Homelander, definitely a liar. Butcher, definitely a liar. Is her name Vanessa? Right? No? What's her name?
Maybe.
Ryan's mom, definitely a liar. She made Butcher think she was dead.
Yeah, so I mean, and that does happen in the books. So I mean, it all tracks. But it's like, okay, you got to pick which one is not lying about this thing, and they don't want to pick a side, and it's fucking annoying. You could see with the way that they flip flop that conversation. I don't even think the writing room wants to fucking pick a side in this argument. They just want to be like, well, you guys just choose. Who do you think? And it's like, no, when you're writing a show, certain things you've got to say definitively, this person did it, this person didn't. You know, there's things you can leave ambiguous, but we're in the final fucking season. This is where all the cards are supposed to be on the table. We're supposed to get not know everything, but understand most of everything. And the biggest thing is, this has been the plot since season 1. You kind of got to fucking give us an answer. Or what the fuck are we doing? Like, so yeah. You know, the more we talk about it, that really kind of pisses me off, because it's like, if this was season 3 or 4, this shit would be okay. But being that this is the final season, like, we need answers. So yeah, it definitely deserves my 9 now that I think about it, because this would be the one weakest part of the episode.
I mean, when you're watching Stargate, you don't think at any point, oh, well, these people are just trying to defend their territory from these other bad guys. No, you're like, this fucking guy is evil as shit.
Yeah, he wants to take over. Like, it's clearly defined to us as an audience member, like their motivations, and some of them might not be with the plan. You know, you got the rift between and even when you had the battle with the system lords, right? You knew each of them kind of wanted to rule separately because they had their own ideals and ways and thoughts about the other ghoul, but they all had the same agenda, right? They're all evil. They all want to fucking take over. We get it. And then you dive deep into who the character is, where here we have this motive and this thing that's been driving the very first episode, but we don't know who's right to really pin it and be like, well, yeah, I understand Homelander. At times he's funny. At times he's actually not wrong. Butcher's wrong and done terrible things, but Homelander is the villain.
If you want to go by where we start by Butcher wanting revenge for his wife being killed. Lie.
Yep.
The whole initial premise of the show is built on a lie. And like, I don't entirely understand Butcher's motivation to be like, okay, one person is bad, right? One person is, that would be like, okay, let's do the World War II equivalent. Hitler is bad. We can all agree on this, right?
Yep.
And if we're Butcher, we go, Hitler's bad. We need to kill every single German. Whoa. Like, that's quite a stretch, guy.
Well, I think it's too, and once again, this is context from the comics that they should have somehow put into the show. But there's other scenes where over time when he formed the boys, he saw what the soups around Homelander was doing. And he said, fuck it. Everybody who has powers, I've just seen them fuck and kill and cover it up and get away with it. So fuck them all. And in the show, they kind of show it, but then they do a weird thing where they'll take the bad guys that we initially thought were super bad and kind of show like, no, they're just like us, but they happen to get powers. And what would you do if you had superpowers? Which makes for a good, compelling story, but then it fucks up the original story. because you don't see how like, I'll give you an example. A-Train's death in the original comic was not climatic, and he did not have an arc. He was an asshole from beginning all the way to the end, and he wasn't black. He was a big white dude who worked construction. They completely changed the background, but it works for the show because they still kept the fact that he was an asshole, but he went on this journey. His arc is probably the best they changed from the book, because when he dies in the book, I don't really care. And he died by Homelander's side. I think he died in the final battle. And it was really uneventful death. And he learned nothing. He died basically trying to do the same thing he did in the first book to Huey, run through him. And Huey does something and he hits into something and then he beats him over the head with a crowbar. That's how he dies in the comics. And there's no arc there. So A-Train's death, he was the character I expected to hate the most out of the show, but wound up being the most well-rounded, best character. And that's an example where I was like, okay, that's a great change. You took a character I didn't give a shit about, and you made him so interesting, and you gave him so much layers where I know he's a bad guy, but he actively tried to be better right up to the ending. And yes, is him not stopping for one person make up for all of the other people he's probably killed and ran through and stuff? No, but it does make us sad because we saw him try. He tried to be better. And they've kept Butcher and Homelander consistent, yes, but they've changed a lot of things around them that really does affect, and is really starting to show in this final season. It's affecting how their story is going to come off, because you don't want to kill Homelander by the end and people be like, well, you know, I can still kind of see Homelander's point. Was he really a bad guy? Because in the comics, no, he's fucking terrible. Like, he doesn't just do one rape in the comic. He does multiple. There's a scene in Herogasm where he unconsensually fucks other superheroes' wives or women just because he can. He throws them to the side, starts banging them while he's looking at the person in the corner. Like, there's shit like that in the comics where Garth Ennis was like, no, he's fucking evil. He is the epitome of evil. He does not give a shit. Because he's like Superman, he sees himself as above everybody else, and he doesn't fucking care. And in the comics, it's very clear. Oh, yeah, he did that to Butcher. And in the comics, they didn't have a storyline where she came back. She died in the actual comics. Like, there was no revival. He did the business. She found out a secret. He flew over and he tore her apart. There also is no Ryan in the comics. So when you create these new things and that's why I talk about source material, you veer away. Well, then you've got to create something that's going to make sense. And we can kind of see where the writing is clashing now, because now they go, well, we brought her back to life and we didn't kill her. So now we got to figure out how to do this son thing. And it's like, let me ask you, do you think it would have made more sense and been easier if they would have just scrapped the son and did it like they did in the books and just killed her off and made that his motivation, as opposed to having her come back and have this son? You know, do you think that would have made more sense to where we are now? Or would you have preferred how they did it now?
I would always prefer being more explicit with somebody's dastardly deeds than being more ambiguous, so that you're like, well, maybe.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to somebody who you want to portray as being more villainous than Darth Vader.
And oh yeah, like
is that not the goal of anybody who's trying to create this epic villain? That you want him to be more villainous than Darth Vader? Because you don't see Darth Vader do a lot of villainous stuff in the original trilogy. You really don't.
But
you don't see a lot of people saying that Darth Vader isn't the greatest villain of all time. Like, you get people here and there that are like, no, it's this guy or that guy. But the vast majority is like, oh, when you think villain, you think fucking Darth Vader.
I mean, the only one I would say comparably closer would be Joker. Just because, unlike Darth Vader, and it's really Joker's insane. And I think what makes him more villainous is you never know what he's going to do from moment to moment. And the fact that I honestly don't know who has the higher kill count, but I would say Joker probably has the higher kill count. But like Homelander, to me, if they portrayed him how he is in the books, would be without question more dastardly than any of those villains because of this one thing they gave him, which is he does not care. And he literally takes, in every sense of the word, what he wants by force. And there's nothing you can do about it. And like when you strip that away to try to give him depth, I think it really hurt the character in reverse. So, wow, that was a long talk about just one scene. What was your favorite scene? And I think we both agree what our not favorite scene is now.
I feel like my favorite scene in the episode is when MM and Stan Edgar find the, I assume, Cuban cigars. And he's like, oh, I didn't know where these were. You should have one. And MM's like, oh, I don't smoke. And then he takes it. And I was like, yes, MM seems to be the only person that understands exactly where we're going, in the sense that we are all fucked and we're all going to die. So why not do every fucking vice under the sun?
I'm going to say, surprisingly, that was also my favorite scene, but what happens after. One of the best ways they threw in a political thing, but where it made sense, and kind of Shadow, where he explains power, and he tells him, you're not going to beat me. You're not going to beat Homelander. And he goes, even if you do. And he's like, say you do beat him. And you kill all of the Supes, right? And he goes, what do you think is going to happen? We'll just find a new fashionable thing. And he goes, and the wheel keep on turning. And it's one of the most, that's the moments. Remember I told you how I got nervous where they were going to throw in the politics? This is the perfect spot. Like, this is where sometimes the writing is so sharp on this show, where that's the perfect conversation, perfect setting to have it, and just a perfect definition of like where they are at. It's like, because it's so true. It's like, yeah, you kill Homelander, they kill Soldier Boy, right? They save the day. But then where do you go from there? And like, does that move the needle? Well, I mean, it keeps people safe. We get rid of the fucking concentration camps or whatever. Maybe we get a different president, but does it really change anything?
No, you gotta go full Daenerys and break the wheel.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about that. Like literally, to make it better, he would have to shoot Stanley right there. He'd have to fucking kill the bitch who's vice president with the fucking head in the back. He'd have to kill Ashley. He'd have to kill the president. He'd have to kill anybody who was supposed to be the next in line, because they're all groomed by the person before them. He would have to fucking burn Vought to the ground and destroy that corporation entirely. Hope there isn't another corporation that's doing the exact same thing, which we've established in the world of The Boys. There is competitors who have tried to make this formula. So clearly there's someone out there who would try it again. And then after that, there's rebuilding and building up trust. And the people are so divided by these two opposing forces that you would have to also quash that and be like, hey, everybody was a dickhead. You're all wrong. And we do shit on the internet. You're still going to get those crazy people, just like the Zack Snyder fans, that small pocket would be like, but Homelander was right. He was right. Fuck Starlighters. And you'd have those crazy leftist Starlighters being like, Homelander's the devil. Industry's the devil. And here's the sad truth. The thing I loved the most about the speech was at the end where he said, you still need the beast. You need the capitalism. You need the corporations. You can't destroy it. because it's how everything's running. Unless you want to set people back into the fucking Stone Age. So to me, I was blown away because I was like, wow, that is a fucking good conversation to have in this like scene where they're getting ready to be fucking under siege. And I also too like that battle with Huey and the Invisible Kid Kevin.
Yeah, little translucent.
Yeah, his name was Kevin. I didn't forget because it was so fucking innocuous. I was like, what? Yeah, but translucent son, and I do like the father-son thing because that's a big theme. And it's like these are the things where they do these things and they pay off. And then you have moments we're debating on, like with Ryan and stuff, where it's not so clear. So I'm really hoping at the end these all come together. Like that's my hope. I hope that by like they did in episode 1, we have a nice thing where we get to the end of this season and we go, you know what? It was a little rough here and there. They didn't explain certain things that well, but by God, the end was worth it. I mean, okay. We both know our ratings and our favorite scenes. Let's do some fun things here. Let's do something that I think is important to both of us. Because I don't get the same sense that I got with Game of Thrones, where we were in for a total shit show. Do you personally think this show is going to land the plane? Do you think that maybe they won't answer and wrap up everything neatly, but do you think what you come to see the show for, do you think they're going to wrap this show up satisfyingly?
Where we're sitting right now, and now we have 5 episodes left to finish telling the story. Gosh, they have a chance to land it, but it's breezy as fuck on the runway. And it looks like ice is falling.
I'm not going to lie. And once again, I'm going source material, right? Where...
Dude, there's so much different in the show than in the source material.
But I'm going source material where we're at right now. Now, just keeping in mind, the source material is out the fucking window, but where we're at right now, I know this is a totally different version of the ending, but I'm a little worried about them, just what they've set up in the show, being able to pay off everything. Like they've done a good job with just one character, but my goodness, we've got so many different people, and I could see them where like they killed off the psychic, they killed off poor Kevin, who I really liked. They kind of got Black Noir out of the way. Like I see them setting up the pieces. I think the main thing for me is going to be seeing the biggest sticking point is going to be how they resolve Butcher and Homelander. Like, if they could just at least get that good.
I don't need to know specifically how everybody gets either their happy ending or their final ending, i.e. their death. I don't need to know each individual character. I need to know what's happened to Homelander. I need to know what happened to Butcher, and I need to know what happened to Huey. Everybody else, I don't need a definitive ending to their story, but I need a definitive ending to those 3 characters' story, because without their interactions, there is no TV show.
I 100% agree. And to some part, I would even put Scarlet in there.
And when I say interactions, I don't mean their face-to-face stuff. I mean, Butcher's looking around for the virus. Homelander is looking around for the virus. That counts as interaction. We're both searching for the same thing. We don't have to be on screen at the same time to be interacting. Like, even interacting through a third party, like, we talk to Stan Edgar, now you talk to Stan Edgar. Like, you've interacted in that sense because you both got maybe not necessarily the same piece of information because of the way that Stan likes to give information out, but you had the same conversation.
Yeah. And I find it funny because I don't think Stan's going to give him the information that he's looking for, because I think if he's picking the lesser of two evils, he's definitely
going to give him a believable story, though.
Oh, without a doubt. He's going to give him something that sounds good, whether or not it's true. And I think that's another big thing that they need to pay off about these lies. Is the show can set up all of these people that we know are inherited liars, but they also need to as well give us some payoff on what story is correct. Like, I would like them to actually definitively give us, like, this person was actually the one telling the truth. This is an actual lie. Like, I feel like some of the things that they're presenting, we need to get a definitive answer for. You don't got to give me every answer. I don't want everything explained to me. But there's certain things I think they need to fucking tell us. Like, this happened. These are the events. This is what happened, you know? So yeah. I'm a little concerned about how they're going to bring it together. But I'm also going to say, too, it's not a Game of Thrones concern. And we're still enjoying the episodes.
We have not moved into the speeding up of time so that we can get all of our moments on the screen before we run out of episodes.
And we haven't moved to not giving a shit and showing a Starbucks cup in fucking Middle Earth. We haven't moved to that.
Say, we can have a Starbucks cup in The Boys and it'll be okay. Except, I don't know. There are certain things in The Boys that don't exist, like Planet Hollywood doesn't exist because it's Planet Vaughn.
And so if we saw a Planet Hollywood sign, then The Boys is falling off. Like, if we see real world shit in our world, like, transposed into the show, then I'll start being concerned. There's just a lot of allegories and similar stuff. So they're walking a very fine line. But I'm going to say what I've said before. I have been through one season final with Eric Kripke. He has ended a show good. Now, technically it didn't end, but in my mind it did. And in many other people who are fans of the show, it did. And I have seen his style, and that he's not afraid to kill main characters, and yet not to kill them just because, but just because their arcs is over, like characters he felt had nowhere to go. Final season, all bets are off. And I think he established that with the very first episode. So I just hope they really fucking drew this out. Like, I hope there was a storyboard and we got a destination, because God, like, I want to get to the ending and I want us to meet here and go, you know what, PB? There's smarter guys than we are. we couldn't have done this, especially with all the plates they were spinning. Like, if they have all of this stuff going, and they even land the plane halfway decent, I'll be impressed. Because it'd be like, man, you guys bit off a lot, and you might have not, like, you might have had some wobbly wheels, and it didn't do the smoothest fucking landing. People were nervous, but you still got her on the runway. I just want them to be on the fucking runway. So, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much that's all I gotta say. Yeah, I got nothing more to add. I think I'm pretty much good with the review, and we're supposed to draw it out for another 10 minutes or so until Justin gets here. Oh man, I got stuff to do. That lady's going to work. I want to give her hugs and kisses before she goes. And I got fucking Hades too, man. I've almost built up my city of the underworld. I'm sure you did. Oh man, it's fucking sweet. Like, I'm working on getting this last weapon, I gotta upgrade my other abilities. I can only come back from death once. And I gotta go save Hades.
Well, I'm not going to prevent you from saving the underworld because the underworld's so important.
I mean, yeah, you know.
I watched episode 4 of Invincible. I know what it's like.
Yeah, the struggle is real, man. There's some
Fucking
shenanigans.
the devil sounds like Bruce fucking Campbell.
Dude, that converted me over. I was like, well, if devil is Bruce Campbell, maybe hell's getting a bad rap. Because
They definitely know how to party there.
Like, I love how they picked Bruce Campbell because, like, the devil's supposed to be this like evil person or whatever else, and he's doing this evil shit, and you're Bruce Campbell, and you're like, is hell really that bad? He seems like a pretty fair boss. Yeah,
I mean, especially when he's in tiny form.
I mean, that was the fucking funny part too. When he was that old guy, he seemed super intimidating. Once he became like buff, he was just like, "Come on, bro, let's go hit the kegs."
No, see, my favorite part there was right when he shows up and Mark's like, "You want me to fight the devil, right?" No.
He's like,
"Don't fight the devil. We need the devil."
No, buddy. No, don't punch him. We're punching this way. Don't one punch man him.
I don't know. Okay, so I tell you one little issue that I have with both Daredevil and the boys at the moment.
Okay.
We have quite clearly and explicitly been told, shown, whatever you want to call it, that there are going to be some major characters showing up. Where the fuck are they?
Daredevil, I'm going to lay any amount of money.
5 episodes without Jessica Jones.
I'm gonna lay any money now that I think about it, and I was a fucking fool. You know they're saving that for the fucking end. Because they got people like me.
There's a vast majority of the people in the TV time comments that are just like, holding my breath for another week because she ain't fucking here yet.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because I was like, I thought it was going to be like Frank Castle. Remember in season 2 where you get the 1 or 2, he disappears and then comes back in the final 2. Perfect fucking cameo, because you got him there. You know he's there, and then he fucks off and does his own thing, and then it's like, oh, he's the surprise that comes to save him. So I thought they were going to do that this season, like, oh, you see her and like maybe they have a short interaction and she's like, fuck off, I'm gonna drink, I don't want to get involved, and something happens and she's like, okay, I guess I gotta fucking help this dick and to get out of here. But now I'm like, is it even gonna make sense when she shows up? Like, is it gonna be a thing like Kingpin just goes fucking bananas? Because we know now that Vanessa's dead, he's gonna lose his fucking mind, right? So is it like he's gonna because Jessica Jones has a sister, and I believe they mentioned the actress was going to be reprising a role. I fucking forget her name, and I'm wondering if he's going to arrest people and her sister is going to be arrested, which brings her, because at the end of Jessica Jones, she fucking left New York. Right now, she's not in New York. She left to start a new life. The end of season 3, which was the final season of Jessica Jones, she was like, I'm done. Everybody knows me here. I'm tired of being a superhero. And she left the fucking Maine or some fucking weird place. She was just like, I'm fucking out, and started her detective agency in another state far away. So, one, what's going to bring her back to New York? And 2, where we are right now, is it going to make sense to kind of throw her in there? Because like we said, it would have made more sense if you had her in the first episode. Like maybe she's on a case and it leads her back to New York, and she knows Daredevil because they've fucking interacted before in Defenders. So she knows who Daredevil is. So it'd be like, oh, hey, Matt, blah, blah, blah. I'm just here working a case. And then you have her show back up. But now you're just going to have her fucking show up. It's going to be kind of weird unless they. I'm almost afraid I'm going to like the episode the least. Depending on how they introduce her. Because is it just going to be her there just to get us going?
If I'm pressed to speculate, I believe they are going to introduce her in a moment where Daredevil is either about to or is being overwhelmed by the task force, and she's just going to show up and start one-punching guys and being like, "Yep, sorry I missed all the fun." Like it's going to be something very basic in my mind right now.
And I would have a serious problem with that just based on even listening to the interviews after the show. They've actually done things. Maybe it didn't come out right, but it makes sense when they're explaining it to me, which I respect that. Even if it doesn't in the final product always show up as they intended, I at least see the creativity and I see they're trying, which is far more than we could say the D&D interviews or the fucking Duffer Brothers with Stranger Things. They're like, yeah, this is what we were aiming for. This was the point. And when you look at it, you go, okay, I see you just didn't deliver it right. But that's not a flaw in what you were trying to do. The execution just wasn't the best. But I don't want them to do that because then that just feels like everything they said the show isn't about, like cameos and throwing people in, man. Because then you're ruining it to me because they didn't have to do it.
For the boys, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, but I don't know how it can't be rummaging around in their mind. Like, they just want to see Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki on screen together again. And with the minimal amount that we see him in the trailer, he's wearing like a suit, right?
Yep.
It makes me think that he works for the government in some aspect, whether he's a congressman, a senator, a secretary of state or defense, or, one of those cabinet positions. Or he could potentially be, although it doesn't seem like it, the guy who they have as president seems like very much a lapdog at the moment and exclusively is worried about himself, which has been true since the beginning.
Yep.
Like what they caught him on camera having sex with the shapeshifter guy, and he's like, "Go ahead and release it." And he's like, "I don't think you'll get reelected in Oklahoma." Which is probably true, but whatever.
And the thing with that too, and from what I heard from people who had gotten all advanced copies all the way up to episode 7, no one got 8 because they're keeping that under wraps. But from what I heard, Jared Padalecki does not appear until I think 5 or 6, maybe. Jesus I forget Christ. The specific episode, but it was 5 or 6. It was like way later. So I'm thinking you're close with what you're saying. Yeah. It because that was God help us, but Grace, I don't know how she gets all of these fucking things, but she was saying she was actually kind of underwhelmed with where they put them, and now it makes me think that if there's one point she's probably right about, that does kind of sound like a little weird thing. And it just sounds like, and you have to remember too, Eric Kripke worked with both these guys for 5 seasons of Supernatural. So it could just be like, hey, I have this one character who's going to be like showing up. Do you want the role? He's just going to be like the government's guy or something. And who knows? No one's seen the final season, so he could play a significant role in the final episode. No one's seen the final episode. So, but from the way that it sounds, it's not what everybody thinks. So I've brought my hype down because I just wanted Soldier Boy back. I got what I wanted. I think honestly,
I'm not a massive fan of Jared Padalecki as I am Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, like Jared Padalecki, don't get me wrong. I think he was pretty good in in the show that he the one you did after Supernatural. Basically, Chuck Norris did it first.
Walker.
I think he was good in Walker. I mean, you're fucking replacing Chuck Norris, so you're never going to be like...
Right.
I mean, there's no way. There's just no way anybody could do that role. But when you watch the show, did you ever watch Walker?
I might have seen an episode or two. I did not watch it as a series.
I watched through season 1. I kind of got caught up because I was like, I'll just let this end and then rewatch it. But I will say he was pretty good in the role. And I liked him in the Friday the 13th remake. But looking at both their careers, I'm more of a Jensen Ackles. He just got more of it. I don't know what it is. He's got the charisma. So when he was announced as Soldier Boy, like, I'll give you an example. When he was announced as Soldier Boy, I said could work, but then when just the way he committed to it, and you seen him, remember when he was first announced and was releasing the workout photos, and you saw how fucking ripped he was getting and stuff, and just the first words out of his mouth, and that was so fucking crass. I was like, perfect. Even, and I know you love when I say this, but even compared to source material, Soldier Boy, right? He is.
Right, can I?
One for one.
I got to ask you a question about Soldier Boy from episode 3.
Yes.
Because totally caught me off guard, but I was like, I'd be right there with you, guy. I thought that Soldier Boy only banged old chicks.
Yeah,
this is a massive upgrade for him.
First off, yes. Secondly,
she can crack my fire anytime.
Secondly, and this is great because this is the little things that they pull from the source material. His preference is older women, which is they're doing a prequel, I heard, and so Soldier Boy's like original woman was Stormfront, but she was Lady Liberty when they were together. They were a couple.
He was with Lady Liberty before he got with the Countess. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, he was with Lady Liberty, and he thought she died, and then he kind of moved on to the Countess because Lady Liberty, aka Stormfront, she was the oldest living soup with him. They both were around the same time frame. So they got together because even though they were technically on opposite sides, we'll say, of the conversation or whatever, she's a fucking Nazi, they loved each other because they were basically immortals and they were the only ones who would live as long as they had. And then when he disappeared, and I think they even mentioned it in season 2 vaguely, when she has dialogue about the only other person she's ever loved, which was Soldier Boy. Like, they briefly mention it, but yeah, they were together, and it was the age because they were both kind of aged together, and that's where his kind of thing came in with fucking older women. Now, when they were together, he wasn't exactly faithful. He banged other older chicks, but that was the person he went back to. So yeah, it was kind of funny. And I love the bit where he goes, well, I was originally just fucking you to get back at. He goes,
oh, you know what I thought was going to happen? Because like, I like the little scene where they're on set and they're talking about their guns and everything. And I was like, ooh, we all know where this is going. And being that it was the boys, I figured they'd show you some of it. You never know how actual sexually explicit they're going to get in a sex scene in the boys, which is fine. I don't really care about that. What I thought was going to happen was she was going to have a fucking heart attack and die from banging Soldier Boy.
And then come to find out, she kept up with him.
She must have.
And
he said he said he ain't banged that hard in 40 years or something. Or no,
And
hilarious. This is what was hilarious. I remember what he said. He goes, I ain't banged that hard since I banged Sherry Lewis. You know who Sherry Lewis is?
No.
I wouldn't have known off the top of my head who Sherry Lewis was. But after I watched the episode of The Boys, I decided to go out for a smoke. So, as I'm having a smoke, it's like, okay, find something on YouTube to watch for a little bit while I'm out here. And as I'm scrolling down, there just happens to be like a 17-minute video, so I didn't watch quite all of it, but I got most of it, about Sherry Lewis. And I was like, dude, this is like, they know that I watch The Boys, and they're like, oh, he's going to have heard Sherry Lewis. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. I have it backwards. They must have, I watched the video before I watched the episode of The Boys. I'm sorry. I'm misremembering everything. So when he said Sherry Lewis in the show, I was like, holy fuck. Sherry Lewis is the original lady that invented Lamb Chop. And the song that never ends.
No way. That's her. Now that you said it, I know because she fucking sang it, right?
Yeah.
That used to be my favorite. No. That makes it more.
That's who Sherry Lewis is.
Dude, that makes it more deeply disturbing.
The real question is, was Lamb Chop watching?
Oh, that makes that joke so much better now.
So much better. I was like, how did you know that I was going to watch this show and decided to give me, because, you know, I'm a man of a certain age. Obviously, I know who the fuck Lamb Chop is. And then I looked at the thumbnail and I was like, ooh, there's a story behind Lamb Chop. Well, it wasn't dastardly at all, other than she fucked Soldier Boy.
Now dude, and I've been saying this and people argue with me. They're like, Soldier Boy's despicable. He's a villain, blah, blah, blah. And I go, is he though? Is he really a villain, or is he just a product of it? See, I look at, like, people, if you know my channel, and I've had this argument with PB. My favorite Marvel character is Captain America. PB is an Iron Man stan. And so we have this debate. So naturally, when you introduce Soldier Boy into a show, he will be my favorite character. And when people say Soldier Boy is a villain, I would say Soldier Boy is what Captain America, in all honesty, should be. He's a product of his time. Is he racist? Yes. He came from like the fucking 20s. Like, I mean, if Marvel wasn't Marvel, right, and they had the balls that this show has, we would see a very different Captain America, folks. I can guarantee you there is tons of jokes that you would be able to see, but because Marvel's Marvel, we'll never see them. And that's why I appreciate The Boys. And now, does that make Soldier Boy a villain? I'd say not necessarily. I mean, PB, let me ask you, because I think this is an interesting question, and we did the Butcher and Homelander comparison. I don't view Soldier Boy as a villain. What is your take? Because in my head, has he really done anything that villainous? If we look at his time on the show, he's never really done anything, I would say, that is on the level of the newer soups.
There is a difference between being evil and being an asshole.
Oh, yeah. And I would say
like
he's more of an asshole.
I would say the most evil thing that he did was, killing the original Noir.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he kill him?
No. Oh, no. He didn't even really kill him.
Who does he kill when they're doing that flashback?
Oh, wait. Yeah. He did kill the original Noir, but it was by accident.
No, he didn't quite kill him, but he beat him to within an inch of his life.
Yeah. It was something like that. He didn't actually kill him. He just, because him and Noir didn't get together. or didn't get along together, and that's why Stanley erased him from the things, because the original Noir was his brother. So there was that whole big.
So yeah, I mean, you see Soldier Boy do a bunch of asshole things, especially like talking to people, big time asshole. But he doesn't do the evil things. Like, we don't see him in a position where he could save people and be like, no, we're just going to kill all of them because I don't want to have bad PR.
As a matter of fact, I would say he's almost dangerously come close to doing heroic things and almost seems to still have a compass in there somewhere, because there's points when even Butcher, and that's how Butcher is able to manipulate him, going like, hey, do you know he sent you in here to be killed by this virus? Like, there's moments, and there's even moments, like, even when you look at that battle that they had in the Vought Tower, where he goes to Butcher and he's like, hey, we still got to kill this dude. I know your son's here. That fucking sucks, but that's not going to stop me. And I don't think he was explicitly trying to kill Ryan. He was like, you hired me, you recruited me to kill this man who is this big threat, and you betrayed me. So even that, he isn't wrong. It's not like he's saying something villainous or something that doesn't make sense.
So
they should have Homelander 2 seasons ago.
When Homelander is beating the hell out of Ryan, guess what popped into my head? Because you're never gonna guess what popped into my head when Homelander was beating Ryan. I'll give you one guess.
What?
Oh, your guess is what?
Game of Thrones?
Okay, let me contextualize it a little bit. You have a super-powered father beating the hell out of his super-powered son.
Invincible.
Oh, it made me think of South Park.
Okay. I think Invincible, Nolan versus Mark.
Guy, I'm just fucking with you a little bit. I thought of South Park because everybody knows the episode of South Park where, I don't remember which character it is going around saying, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it. Right?
Oh,
Everyone remembers that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That is what popped into my head because Invincible did it. Like, dude, it's exactly the same without all of the lead up to it. Without destroying Chicago. The end of the scene is exactly the same, except they don't have any dialogue, and then it just, once again, cuts to fucking black, and we're supposed to be like, oh, he killed Ryan. Oh, wait, he didn't kill Ryan.
Like,
what the hell?
That's my only other thing, too. I really hope this Ryan thing is going to pay off, because while I appreciated seeing him, and especially in the beginning of the show, I feel like Ryan really isn't adding anything that I think is going to be majorly important towards the end of this. So, like we said, a lot of concerns, because what do you think? Do you think Ryan's going to, because everybody seems to think he's going to be the one who kills Homelander, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, based on that beating, like, I feel like there's been this like big, massive lead up, and with that beating, it almost feels like the creator saying, no, we're not going to make Ryan the person who does it. But if that's the case, then I kind of feel like Ryan is not important to this story whatsoever. It's a lot of time wasting, because they destroy the virus. They're probably going to remake the virus again. But it's like, then fucking Butcher or one of them can deliver it. So once again, what are we doing? I kind of feel like Ryan might not be needed. Maybe we should have.
Yeah, I have no, with the way that they have it set up, like, I don't know if anybody is, what do I want to say? Immortal. That's the word. I'm like, the only person I know that's immortal is the Immortal. And I don't know how you necessarily stop him. Because as long as, I mean, it's just like, it'd be like Volcanica. Like, you can kill the person, and then they just keep coming back. Like, I assume, like, Kimiko's technically immortal. Does she grow older? I'm not certain that she grows older. I mean, all of her parts are new. Like, it's not explicit what immortality means, because from what I can tell, Soldier Boy, because they have the whole scene when he's in the fucking bathtub of milk, he's like, you and your gray pubes. And I was like, oh, so Soldier Boy doesn't have any gray pubes. Does he even age?
And I think, well, didn't they vaguely mention too that he does grow old, but at a very much slower rate?
Ooh, question for you, because this, for the majority of the show, you know that Ryan got his powers naturally, correct?
Yep.
And then, at least in my mind, they wanted us to believe that Homelander got his powers naturally because he's Soldier Boy's son. But then we come to find out that Homelander actually got the V when he was a little kid, and that's what gave him his powers.
See, here's the thing that I kind of made headcanon. I don't know if it's true or if they're going to confirm it. This is just my speculation. I think the powers were always there. The V sped it up. Because if we go by genetically, Ryan got the powers. But remember, it took a long time. Because remember, Homelander was
right.
Ryan
Ryan didn't have powers as an adolescent child, like how Laser Baby Eyes has powers.
Yeah, he had to grow into it. What I think is the same thing. I think Homelander, because of the genetics, had the powers and had the ability and the V, when it was introduced, just sped it up. But I think it was always there. But then that makes a question of then, well, wouldn't he already have the compound V1 if we're talking genetically? He inherited this stuff from Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy is powered by the V1. Like, does that... like I said, see, this is what creates a lot of problems, because what's passed on genetically.
Would you like me to pose another problem to you?
Sure.
So the V1, from how they make it seem in this episode, makes you immortal. Like, he got exposed to the virus, it hurt a little bit, knocked him out for a little bit, and now he's perfectly fine, right back to tip-top shape, right? Because he's immortal. If he bites his tongue off, will he die the same way that Stormfront died? Did Stormfront actually die?
I mean, I mean, that's
like,
a good question.
They explicitly tell you that Stormfront dies so that you can get the reaction from Homelander, but I don't remember them explicitly showing you the body post-mortem.
And they normally do that too, to definitively.
If I remember correctly, when they're doing like the news coverage of Stormfront died or whatever, they wheel a body in a bag out of the building, but you don't see what's in the bag.
So, I mean, and that then opens up a question: does that come into play later? Is Stormfront alive? Is that purposely kept that way? If they want to play that card,
it's possible. It's possible. I'm just saying.
But if she is alive,
in a show where you're explicitly shown stuff, like nobody, not a single fucking person who's ever talked about the boys is wishy-washy on whether Translucent died, right?
Oh, no.
Nobody has ever argued, well, he could still be alive. Nobody has ever argued that. So when there is any little bit of, well, that person could still be alive, it makes me think they're alive.
Also, too, let's just take a recent example. A-Train. We know definitively, shadow of a doubt, A-Train's dead.
Absolutely.
So like it makes me wonder if they actually, maybe they did have plans or they wanted to keep it in their back pocket, or fuck it. They said they're spinoffs and stuff. So who knows? Maybe they want to hold that card for a reveal later, like have her come in Gen V.
Maybe.
So
I mean,
that's something I never thought of.
They were pretty explicit with Kevin? Not Kevin. Is it what's the Translucent's kid's name?
Kevin.
Okay, it is. Isn't the Deep's name Kevin too? The Deep is 100% named Kevin.
Maybe I'm wrong on Translucent Son.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They're both pretty plain.
They explicitly show his body get exploded into a million pieces, and then they explicitly show Exploder Lady with her hand get her fucking neck broken, and she's dead. Which, holy shit, I thought she was going to be more durable than that.
Well, and that clearly shows the problem with those powers.
Because now here's my question: did she mean to explode Translucent Sun? Because I thought that her powers worked on vision, like she can see a thing and crush it.
I think maybe she was going for Huey. I get that feeling.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what the woman said too. She goes, "Well, I think she was trying to blow up Huey, and she missed." I was like, "How do you miss with something like that?"
But I think that Kevin was in the way, being he's invisible.
Oh,
because think about it like this: how I picture her powers work, right? It's almost like an invisible hand that she's grabbing something and crushing it.
Okay.
Did you get that sense? Like,
sure.
Anytime you see her. And how I took it was she went to do the grabby thing, and maybe he was up over Stewie, because remember, he was beating the shit out of Huey. And like maybe he was in the middle of a punch or whatever else. So he's up there, and of course he's fucking invisible. So you're not going to see it invisible. And so she might have been gripping, and she was like gripping like this. So my thought was she was aiming for him, but fucking Translucent's kid is an object in the way. And it's also too proven with the door, right? She can't grip anything past it. Like say visually in her mind, she can picture 2 or 3 people standing behind that door, but there's a big wood fucking metal door there, and you see her trying to grab the door and making dents in it. So I think that solid objects, if something is in her way, she's going to grab onto that and not necessarily the person. She's got to have clear line of sight, and they have to have no obstructions in front of them for her thingy to be able to do its thing. Because even if you look at any other scene, like the hallway scene where she first escapes and explodes all those guards and whatnot, and throws them up, right? There's all line of sights. She's got a clear view, but she kind of does them one at a time. She doesn't just grab all of them and explode them. It's almost like she's got to grip one individual person. So how I took it was Kevin just had that poor bastard just happened to be in the way, and that saved Huey from being grabbed. But once again, these are things like where you need to know exactly how the powers are working, because it's not clearly explained exactly how her power works. Because at first I thought it was psychic.
Yeah, I thought that she was exploding things, but when you go back and watch, I think she's imploding things. Like she's crushing shit.
Because
which is the problem with the door. Like the door is so incredibly dense and thick that it's almost uncrushable.
Yeah, and we saw, and we even did this compare because Victoria Newman, hers was the inverse. What made her so dangerous was she could explode you, and all she needed to do was see you, which is why Butcher killed her so fucking quick, because he's like, which I still debate. People say that was so wrong. I still debate. She's the most dangerous person in my mind that was ever on the boys, because literally all she has to do is see you. Like, theoretically, she could probably have just killed Homelander herself And the only thing that was keeping her from doing that was her daughter, because of how her power works. Because Homelander can stop a lot of things, but he can't stop his head from being fucking exploded.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I don't specifically know, but even the way he treated her power, I don't think he wanted to test that either. Because remember, he doesn't go for her. He went directly for her daughter. He's like, I'll fucking kill your daughter before you can do anything. Remember when he had the conversation with her at her own fucking house? And he's like, you might be able to kill me, but do you think you can explode my head before I can rip your daughter's throat out? And so
would you? I would like to tell you the single dumbest thing that happened in this episode of The Boys. So when they're trying to break into Stan Edgar's bunker, right?
Yep.
They're like, oh, is there another way out? He's like, yeah, Black Noir is patrolling. It looks like the other way out essentially is a vertical shaft with a thick manhole cover on the top. Yes?
That's what I thought.
So, one, why in the fuck don't you have super strong psychic bitch trying to break through a piece of metal this fucking thick instead of one that's fucking 3 feet thick?
And see, that's where we need to know.
That's not the dumbest thing. That's not the dumbest thing, guy.
Okay.
That's adjacent to the dumbest thing and also very stupid. The dumbest thing is that when they're trying to break the door down to get into the fucking compound, they don't do anything to the camera. They're like, we want them to see what we're doing and how close we are to breaking in. But as soon as they get the code to get in the door, because obviously Translucent's kid turned on him because they fucking lied to him, because everybody fucking lies in this show, which is fine. It's just like watching an episode of Survivor. It's fine. Why the fuck do they destroy the camera then? It's like, hey, you saw that we broke in, and now that this camera isn't going to be able to see us anymore because we're going to move past this fucking room, we will destroy the camera. It was so fucking dumb. And that's why I gave it a 9.
And I gave it a 9 because of the Ryan scene. That was the big one for me. And then talking about it, it just confirmed.
You got any explanation on why they decided to take out a security camera that isn't going to be showing you anything of worth anymore?
I took it as a flex.
That's a dumb fucking flex. I've seen her explode people.
It's the Deep and his crew. We're not exactly dealing with the brightest balls.
Dude, I did like the moment at the end after they collect Stan Edgar and the Deep is like, I'm taking the win on this one, motherfucker.
I gotta say, and that's the thing too, at least at the high points, they don't do dumb shit. Most of the dumb shit is this little stuff that, and let's be clear, folks, we gave it a 9. We're nitpicking at this point. It's just little innocuous things because there's so many cool moments like the Deep taking Edgar and fucking gassing Noir. Oh, that was fucking, and you could tell by his face. I didn't expect him to do that, but I did expect him to be sick of their shit. And it's like, it's so funny because compared to any one of those people, I don't think the Deep could honestly take any of them. But for as much as he gets shit on, he is pretty clever. Like when he's got his own little like kind of cleverness to him that I think people very much underestimate him. And yeah. I gotta be honest with you. I am highly invested in seeing what happens to him. Because out of everybody, he is the most weaselly fuck.
I mean, in my mind, he's going to, let's say there's a big fight at the end, good guys versus bad guys, blah, blah, blah. He's going to essentially escape and he's going to live in the ocean with an octopus.
And they're going to be married. Or what was the fucking shark? Clyde, and whatever the fuck the shark was. When he was arguing with him.
That he was, we'll go when I'm ready.
He goes, don't bring up the award again.
He's Kevin. The shark had a very basic name similar to that, though.
Yeah.
I do. Like, those are the Deep has some of the best character building moments and some of the most hilarious moments.
And the funniest part about his character, too, especially from where we started, he's done some he's done villainous things, like despicable things. But at the same time, he's not like a villain like you conventionally think. It's more of he gets himself in fucking dumb situations.
Yep.
And you sit there and you go, how the fuck, out of everybody in this show, how the fuck did you end up where
well, I mean, one thing I like about him, when he's doing villainous stuff, usually it works out, right?
For the most part,
like when he's trying to do something bad, it'll work out. But when he's trying to do something good, you have dolphins flying through windshields, lobsters getting their heads cut in half. Like, when he tries to do something good, it ends up horribly.
And that's why, and that's another reason why I love the show too, because only really at this show could you have a character, and even when you see the Discord, I think even too, because of how many seasons we're in, people forget the despicable, like really despicable shit he's done, but he's just one of those characters where you can't really hate him per se. Like, I don't, I don't hate him. And there's even some points, not all the time, but there's some points where you kind of feel bad. Where you're like, because, out of everyone, he does not have the skill set to get him out of his predicament.
I would say
he doesn't have the.
He's one of the 7 members where we don't get a massive amount of backstory. Like, we got lots of backstory for Starlight, what she did when she was a child. We got lots of backstory for Butcher, what he did as a child. Lots of backstory for Homelander, what he did as a child. I mean, not as much for like Huey and Frenchie and MM because they don't have superpowers, so they weren't, let's say, living that life. But I have what the fuck was the Deep like as a child? I have no fucking clue.
And two, that's what makes it so interesting too, because you do get these reveals of how he knows this person and stuff like that, and it makes it even more funny because it's like, dude, the Deep, like, how the fuck are you connected with this person as well? And I think that's too why he's in the 7, because out of all of the 7 members, even if you go back to the earlier seasons where you had like Queen Maeve and the original Noir, right? You still look at the Deep and you're like, how the fuck are you on this team?
There's a lot of ocean on the planet.
And Homelander was close to him too, so it's like, I would love to get that story. Like, what did he do where Homelander's like, that guy needs to be on my crew? There's got to be like, I agree with you. I would love I would love the context for that. Like, just give us like a bonus episode or like a little, like they did with Adam Eve for Invincible. Give us a fucking deep, like little one-shot episode where we just get like, how did he get on the 7? Yeah, like I would even love to get a real copy of his book, his autobiography. Like probably 90% of it is full of shit.
It's not real, guy.
But just to be like, how? Why?
Well, if you wanted a real copy of the book, I bet you I can think of somebody who's got lots of time on their hands and can write books like that.
Oh, who would be this big fancy writer?
If you want a biography like that, you just go to George R.R. Martin. He ain't working on anything else.
Fuck me, you got to bring that once a string. I would Zen place, and then you got to bring up George and the fucking newest novel of Game of Thrones, which I need. Okay, so I need Compound version 1 injected into me with all of the risks. Hope that I become fucking immortal, just so I could sit there and wait to see if George ever fucking finishes this book before he fucking dies.
Dude, what if he's just been lying to us the whole time and the book is done and he just isn't putting it out? He's like, I'm going to fuck with all these people and it will be released the day after my death.
Then I will personally... No, I can't say that online.
Like,
We'll
you're
just
going to have millions of people fucking pissed off for 24 hours like, this motherfucker died and he never gave us the book. And they'll be like, releasing tomorrow, A Dream of Spring. Oh.
Dude,
I mean,
like,
I can only imagine, like, a little bit of context here. When those books come out, he is going to be inundated with questions about the books instead of, like, questions, right? Questions?
Yep.
Right now, he's inundated with question. When is the book coming out? When is the book coming out? When is the book coming out? That's all people fucking ask. So it's like, he needs to die so that we can get the book and he doesn't have to worry about explaining himself because he's like, I'm dead, bitches.
if you don't like the story, well,
Doesn't matter to me.
Maybe he saw how bad it went for HBO and he's like, yep, releasing this when I die.
I mean, I do have a feeling because, you know, the way that you're told about that show is that Dan and Dave got the job because they knew who Jon Snow was. Like they had figured it out from all of the clues or whatever, which is fine. But then all of us were told that they were essentially given the storyboard for the last two books. Like, this is how it's going to play out. And they're like, okay, we'll fill in the blanks with whatever we need to. And the blanks were Gendry being the fastest runner in all of Westeros. So glad we learned that information. That was good to know. Good to know. And George seeing how much everybody hated the final two seasons, and he's like, I ain't putting those books out. They will murder me.
What if in the books... Now, let me just keep this in mind. Bran is a completely different character in the book. Okay? But what if we have been harping and flaming D&D and Bran actually becomes a fucking ruler and it was in the fucking books. And all they did was like, maybe it wasn't a council that elected him. I don't know. The books are slightly veer off. There's certain things, elements that are in the books that weren't. We'll give it more context, but I'd be pissed too because I'd be like, well, fuck. Am I mad at D&D now? Because they did translate it. Like, it might not have been good to get there, but that's what fucking happened. Fucking Brand, the fucking dullest characters. And I'll even say this, even in the fucking books, he ain't a particularly interesting character, okay? So how... As a matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet if that was the ending, George fucking rewrote that fucker. And that's why it took so long. Because he's sitting going, nope, that gotta pull that out. If people didn't like Daenerys' turn, better fucking rejigger this.
I don't know. I feel like there's a reason why all of the Game of Thrones universe shows that they make, they're all prequels.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that big fucking, what was it, Arya Stark fucking show that they
they're supposed to be the Arya Stark show, figuring out what's west of Westeros. There was supposed to be Jon Snow north of the Wall, and they're like, what about this thing that happened 200 years before? We'll do that.
We're like, yeah. Because it's like the fucking Last of Us and I fucking told everyone, and I told you that, remember I told you season 1 at the end of it when we got done with the whole thing and they announced season 2 and I go, oh boy, PB, are the normies in for a treat, because I played that fucking game and I know where this story goes. And even even with what I knew, that show was so fucking bad. I replayed The Last of Us Part 2. Bitchy was actually watching me one time when I was playing it and laughing, and I was like, that was the first time I have ever in my life. It was the first time I ever watched something adapted from something else where the adaptation was, or where the original property was terrible, where the adaptation actually made me fucking like the thing I hated. Like when I played, and don't get me wrong, Neil's writing ain't fucking great, okay? With the way stuff happens, and when I showed you clips, right? But I could tell you now, you saw those clips. Somehow the show made it fucking worse. Every fucking, it's one of those weird things where I go, wow, this actually made me like the source material more. Like maybe I was too hard the first time around playing this game. Like I was like, was I wrong? I wasn't the only one. There are starch. I'm in these corners of this talk. There are people that will they will die on the hill that The Last of Us Part 2, the game, is the worst game ever made. I mean, the worst game ever made. Like, you cannot budge them. They would fucking cut off their own arm before admitting anything about the game is good. Like that level of hate. And I can even say the game has good graphics. The physics and stuff was good. That wasn't my issue. It was the story. So, I mean, I'm not in that camp. But I've talked to some people that will tell you, like, literally, if you ask them what is the worst game ever created by a human being, they will say The Last of Us Part 2. That's how fucking much they hate the game. And they watched the show. And they said, it was the first time everyone was unified. And they said, well, the game sucked, but Jesus Christ.
Well, to bring it back to the stream that we were supposed to be having, I don't think Justin is coming back. It has been well over the hour that he needed. And we don't need to go to 4 hours again.
I think he went straight into Invincible.
I would think so.
But thank you everybody for watching. It's been fun. Very interesting. But still, I think the general wrap up is all three of these shows are great. You're still gonna have a good time. Whether you pick out the things you do, none of these shows are bad. It will be interesting rating them in my top 10, like which order I'm gonna put them in.
Oh, it's tough. That is tough.
And I'm going to tell you, this is spoilers. You guys get a little sneak peek of how I'm going to do my ranking. I'm going to solely base it on, given everything we've gotten, what the final is. I think that's going to be ultimately what makes me decide what goes where. Because if all of the episodes are great and the finals of these fucking suck, that's going to fucking nosedive. Because then it's going to highlight all of the problems.
I don't think it's fair. Like, mostly, I would say it's unfair to Invincible because almost guaranteed Thragg is not going to be killed in the next episode. Whereas by the time you get to the end of The Boys, odds are Homelander is going to be killed. And by the time we get to the end of season 2, I don't know if Kingpin's going to be killed, but he's definitely going to be out of the picture because of how they have Spider-Man set up already.
No, what I'm saying in relation to how good it's been, if just the season final doesn't live up to that and drops the ball seriously, that could drop any one of these. You know what I mean? Like, okay. You get what I mean? Even if it's not the end of the show, I know none of the characters from these other ones we talk about are going to die per se, but I'm going to say, how does it
definitely die?
All except for one, because we're in the end game for The Boys. We know somebody's going to fucking die there. I'm talking about like where they leave us off. If they leave us off satisfied with a good momentum going into the next season, they're going to get higher marks than if we get to the final and we go, that fucking sucked. You know, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I have a feeling that's not going to happen, and I'm going to have fucking gray hair by the time I get done with this year, because I also got to do this for fucking horror movies and for regular movies, and this year it's just been great. Every fucking movie I've seen has been good.
Except for Scream 7.
What's that?
Except for Scream 7.
Oh, God. See, I blanked that out of my... Fuck, PB. Why did you... And Bitchy did this to me the other day.
I say these things because you come on here and make these sweeping statements that I know are entirely false.
Because I was perusing through, and then I happened by that movie. I'm not even going to fucking call it a Scream movie, because it's not a Scream movie at this point. It's a fucking parody of itself. But I passed by that movie, and Bitchy goes, hey, wasn't that your favorite movie?
Not quite.
Dude. And me and Perp argued about this. I want to have Perp on the show to figure out how the fuck he thinks anything about that movie is good. That, to me, right now, so far, and keep in mind, The Strangers Chapter 3 came out, is the worst movie of this year. My number one. I don't know what's going to dethrone it. I'm sure there's worse movies that will come. But right now, it's got some fucking stiff competition, because that was the most infuriating moment. And it makes it worse. I was with my daughter, and we were both pissed off. And she looks at me and goes, that was not a very good movie. Like, I had to apologize to my kid, PB. I had to apologize to my little girl. But my success rate with her at the movies was perfect record until that movie. Perfect from her first movie till that. Then that movie came along and it broke my streak. Every movie I ever taken to, even some movies I didn't think were great, she's like, Dad, that was awesome. You're the bestest ever. I love you. She was ready to fucking leave me on that one. I'm lucky she still calls me her father. It's like, Father, you have failed me this day.
You didn't make her pay for her own ticket, did you?
Thank God I didn't. I'd give her a refund. Like, here, kid.
There's $20 for sitting through this.
Only one of us should have to be not refunded for this pile of shit. Oh my God. Oh,
Carmen, I'm glad you made it back for the end of the stream, Carmen. You get to hear Zod say his catchphrase.
So, thank you everybody for watching. You've been wonderful. Check us out. We'll be here Tuesday for a review of the next two episodes of the show.
But what were they watching, Zod?
What were they watching?
Weren't they watching some electrifying bullshit?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching the most the most groundbreaking earth-shaking.
Dude, never media shell money taking.
Dude, I'm so off today. The most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media shell money taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain who is not suffering from Alzheimer's. On YouTube today. General Zod, and I appreciate having you. It's funny moments like this. We need to clip me fucking up my catchphrase. It was like at 3.
It led you right into it, and you're like, oh, when you lead me to the water, I don't drink.
I face planted into that fucker and did not get a drop. But thank you, everybody. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the fandom zone. Kneel before General
Thragg or Kingpin or Homelander, but probably Thragg because fuck.